Good bit.
That was a good bit. No one will ever know.
Yeah, no one will
It's for
ever
the
know the
best. It's for
funny.
the best. Anyway, we are back one last time for Bronze and Blood. As you guys last session stormed the city of Etheria, took down the Cult of the Void, and killed a champion of the Obsidian King, Uruk, wiping his name from history in the process.
Who?
Now, as you guys
Ulrich?
stand around the remnants of the city of Etheria, as your forces begin to rout what's left of the army of Carinus and the Void Cult, what are you guys doing now that the battle is over?
Well,
Well,
first thing I'm going to do is just get down and begin praying to the god of history that Esso will live on with that Esso made it out okay and will live on to carry her stories.
hmm.
Ryan, we are live according to my YouTube studio window here.
There we go. It just now popped up on my feed.
Oh, there we
Shame he had to go.
The last thing that happened was our good friend here, Anno, slayed the Void Dragon, turning it into nothing. But the problem is that the Obsidian Throne, and the sorry, not the Obsidian Throne, the city itself still stands, a ruined mess covered in obsidian and corrupted tree roots.
This city, as far as I'm concerned, is going to be a quarantine zone. A crater that will never be fucking repaired.
No, we can't let it be like. I mean, we know the shit spreads.
Yeah.
The city has to be like actually, like not even sealed in. Like this thing needs to be like purged.
Okay. You want you to hey mess. You want to roll like a history or religion check to see if they did anything for stuff like this.
Sure, give me a history check.
Cool.
Anyone proficient in history could roll on this, I'll allow.
Okay.
I am distracted in prayer. I would like to give
15.
myself disadvantage.
That's fine.
13.
22 on my part.
15.
All right. So with 13, as you're praying, you think for a second back to how you've heard some tales of the God-marked war and how Obsidian was dealt with. It required the power of an inheritor to deal with it. And then with age 15, Anno, you would know that when contagions were so large, it either would be purged by the inheritors, or it would require the power of several inheritors to fix. And then with Ryan, with age 22, you know that if this city is not contained, healed, sorry, this city is not healed or destroyed, it will continue to spread.
I guess I'll say I'll also pray to my god and ask for help.
All right, so that's two people praying for assistance. Flair, what are you two doing?
Okay, so I do like I think I could do a mean prayer. You know, I haven't had a chance to use this one. It'll take some time.
I was going to Just because we do have a inheritor with us here.
He's not an inheritor.
Uh,
He's just a god.
oh, he
mark.
isn't.
He's a
oh,
god.
okay.
He's a god.
Oh,
mark.
okay. God marked. Okay.
He's a
I
child
thought-
of an inheritor. His mother
Okay.
was an inheritor.
Okay.
If we-
Okay.
if we
Okay.
sacrifice
That's where
him.
that's where I mixed that up. Okay. Okay.
Perhaps if we sacrifice him, we can use that to summon an inheritor here.
All right. As everyone begins to somewhat, as you all begin to ponder or try to find ways of trying a way to fix the corrupted city of Etheria, suddenly a surge of energy begins to appear from above you guys. You can see what looks to be some sort of radiant light gathering above you all. About 20 feet up, a staircase of pure light appears with a pair of ornate doors at the top. The doors swing open, and out steps the most beautiful woman any of you have ever seen. The majestic woman is dressed in a fine purple silk toga. Her skin is of olive tone with a radiant aura. Her eyes are the same purple as her toga. Her hair flows behind her, reaching down to her lower back. Her hair is a golden blonde. While the toga covers most of her body, her breasts are uncovered, and as she descends further down the steps, you notice the woman also seems to be with child. Once she nearly reaches the end of the steps, you instantly notice her height difference. The woman towers over you, standing 10 feet tall. As she steps onto the ground you share, you watch as she claps her hands together, and within the blink of an eye, a dozen or so figures appear in the area. These figures are a variety of different races, genders, and appearances. You watch as they get to work on mending the area around you. They fix the cracks and fissures in the ground, revealing the void. In addition, the tree in the center of Etheria is quickly restored to a small, growing tree. As you watch these figures use their powers, you then begin to realize that these are inheritors, the servants of the gods. After a few minutes, this area of Etheria is restored as best as it could be. There are slight differences to those who know the city, but otherwise, it looks almost new. The large woman snaps her fingers, and a handful of inheritors fly, dash, or jump their way across the city. You can assume that they are assisting in routing the cult. The large woman approaches you all, and a small smile appears on her face. She speaks with a soft voice, and you feel a sense of soothing go through your body. Well done, champions. You have defended Rhysos from a grave threat, one that we were not ready to deal with. My siblings and other family members would like to extend their gratitude. While they bickered and gambled on who would win between their champions, we failed to notice the growing power of Yaldabaoth before it was too late. Thus, I, Adea, regent of the Concilio de Regnus, have come to bestow the gifts of the gods upon you. You may each ask for one thing, anything that is within the power of myself, the inheritor, or my fellow gods. Her words echo in each of your ears for a moment. Nearly anything from the gods. What will you ask for?
Do we have a time limit on this?
She would like to know soonish.
Can she give us a couple days?
So can you
Probably
can
not.
you
No.
so asking something of the gods, huh?
Anything of the gods, whether it's themselves or their inheritors, can do.
Amanita knows what she wants.
So there's been some nasty interventions in this war that weren't on any of you. Yaldabaoth kind of acts outside of your usual sphere of influence, right?
Yaldabaoth has been banned from the Concilio de Regnus. What he does is of his own volition and not with our oversight.
Yes, so it irks me that an intervention like that got in the way of the fates of, soldiers that were just soldiers who have been led astray, tricked, given false promises of power. If it's been some time, can we get someone back in? Can we get someone in the seat of reincarnation again?
That is not within our ability. With Zoe dead, there is no way to restore the power of resurrection.
No, nah.
What inheritors she had, or whatever children she had, continue to do her work. But we are not able to restore her power to what it once was. I'm sorry.
Oh. So you can't pass on any responsibilities within the circle.
No, her powers are gone. No way to get them back. She gave them out to you, the mankind, as gifts in her final moments. It is why some of you are able to cast healing magic and to revive those who have fallen. But we still have forbidden those from using the power of resurrection.
Permission to use that power.
Are you sure that is what you want? To be allowed to cast resurrection one time?
I think that I think some people are owed a different fate.
Very well. And with that, you watch as she claps her hands together and produces a scroll, which she then leans down and hands over to you. Use this to cast your resurrection, and no gods will mind.
I will use this power dutifully.
Now, to the rest of you.
I wish that my family will go on forever until there are no stars left in the sky, that there will always be at least one of us, and they will always be able to carry on our history.
An enduring legacy. One of family. I like that. I shall personally oversee that.
May your whispers guide them to whatever stories are lost.
The House of Utica will forever endure. And with that, you watch as she reaches out into the air. You watch as she grabs what looks to be like reality itself, and she begins to write something into reality and then restore it. That is 2 of you. There still remains 3 of you.
Amade's gonna walk up to what was her name again? The god?
Adea.
Goddess?
This is
Walk up to Adea and says,
this is the goddess of motherhood and the main god currently in charge since her mother left the council.
He goes, "Hi, Adea.
Greetings, servant of Savos.
I would like to be taught a secret only known by the gods. preferably one that you do not wish to, you would not be happy to depart with.
Ah, you are truly a servant of Savos.
I do have a reputation to maintain.
Very well. Is that your wish?
That is my wish.
Very well. With that, she she walks over to you, kneels over, and places her thumb on your forehead.
What do you mean the birds aren't real?
What have you got, Andy?
Trying to think of how I'm going to word this.
I don't think they're going to pull genie shit.
Well, that's not exactly the worry. Alright. Mihalis will next approach. A bit of a solemn look on his face. These past years that I've been living have been more difficult than I thought I would ever think to know. And I guess for my wish, it would be something that my mother would have wanted for me. For my children to not know the same hardship that I've had to endure, nor her, nor any of our family before them.
Is that truly what you want?
Yes, I know it's what my mother would have wanted for me, so it's only fair I do the same for those who come after.
Very well. And with that, she clasps her hands together, and light comes out towards you and envelops you for a moment, and then dissipates. And with that, she turns to Anno. You are the last one, champion. What do you desire?
Hmm. He kind of Gouda kind of like clears his throat for a second there, and he basically says, "Well, the one thing I would have asked for is, of course, wondering where of course my family's heirloom went, but I think there's something a little bit more uh far more greater, of course, to possibly ask for. Um, I I don't know if it is a possibility or if it has something to do with Celeste, but is there a way for, of course, both my people and he kind of looks at Hephaestion and says his people would be able to get along at peace again, and if that's not the case, I guess um, I guess if it's not possible, then I guess it's only fair for me to be then I guess cursed for such foolishness. Does that seem reasonable?
That's fucking cool.
Unfortunately, that is not up to within the power of the gods. That is up to your people to decide. It is not within my place or Celeste to guide you. If you truly wish for there to be peace between the moon and sun elves, then that is something that you must strive for, and those that you teach and raise.
Okay then. I guess if it is going to be I guess if it is going to be something like that, then I guess I will then just ask for something simple, something that was what I was going to be looking for, which was of course my the family heirloom, the bow that my sister was using when she was around here. I don't know if you would be able to provide that, or if Celeste would be able to gift that back, or at least find it for me.
Yes, Celeste has been holding on to it this whole time. It has not existed on this material plane. Is that truly what you want?
I can't think of anything far greater to ask for, and given from what you said earlier, I think it's then, if that's the point, then it's far best for me or others to work towards a better goal than to wish for it.
With that, she smiles and nods, and then you watch she doesn't do any movements like she had to do with the others, but suddenly you feel a bit of weight shift on your back, like something is now hanging off of your back now. If you turn to look around, you do see that the bow is now hanging off your back.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. My champions, I thank you again. And now that the gifts have been given out, it is time to punish those who have wronged the Pantheon. The dragons were meant to be custodians for mortals, but it would seem that their greed has grown too large. I hereby decree, as was agreed to by the Council de Regnis, Concilio de Regnis, that a curse be placed upon the dragons. Let their power wane, their eggs petrify, and their Dracokin relatives inherit this curse. They shall inherit the appearances of those who dare betray the gods. No longer will they blend in with mankind.
That's not. I don't think they need that.
It has already
Begging
been,
you, please spare Esso from this fate, my steed.
it
my
has
friend.
already been agreed upon.
It seems like you sprung this on us after you granted our wishes, knowing that we would have wished for mercy.
Are you accusing me of trickery, mortal?
Please
It
accuse
seemed-
her of trickery.
You know what the dragons meant to us. You know what the dragons meant to us, and you know that we've made deals with the dragons in order to expose them to the life of mortals. If you want to, what you give is a punishment. Not all are a blanket punishment for something that the crimes of a few.
It was the crimes of the many.
I didn't even. Did we see a dragon that wasn't that void dragon go against us during this war?
The only dragons you ever saw that helped you was Soteria and Esso. That was it. Every other dragon.
Yes. But were there dragons against us? There was a kobold. A kobold isn't a dragon. And there was
We
the
fought
dragons that
city, I guess.
there was the and you know what fucking happened? They weren't an actual problem, and then they came crawling back to us when they found out they've been deceived, and they want to find peace. They're already repenting.
Like 4 of them.
I should note, in the background of this, I am begging on my hands and knees for Esso.
That is, their repentance is not enough. They have defied the gods, and for that they must pay.
I'll surrender the blessing on my family if it means that she can continue. She can shepherd us.
She looks over to you from the corner of her eye. I will take pity on your 2 allies, Tateria and Esso, but no more.
Thank you.
This is. I don't think that this is going to be good for the dragons in the long run.
Yes, but
It is a
but there is
punishment.
but the,
It is not meant to be good for them.
You're going to breed a sense of victimhood in them, and they're going to come back up not having learned a lesson.
You are simply speaking to the regent. I did not make this assignment a deal on my own. The gods came together and agreed on this punishment. It was not chosen lately.
Hey, Titus.
What?
As a servant of the gods, may I recommend you stop bickering with them before we get smited?
As a servant of the fates, I serve a higher authority.
Oh, there it is. Amanita steps back from Titus.
What was that? Did you just say you serve something greater than the gods?
The fates.
The fates were created by the gods. My mother, Garmarok, and Yaldabaoth created the fates. They are not higher than us. Choose your words carefully, undead, before I have Sanctus rip your soul from your very being and banish it into the very void. You watch as, like, her once collective calmness has turned somewhat into fury.
Friend, are you sure this is the hill you want to die on?
Because you will.
I won't
also
go with you, but you'll have more to do.
given the situation as well, Ano kind of like also backs up a little bit. He doesn't really want to get involved with this.
You take away the god of reincarnation, you take away second chances. Very well. I'll yield.
With that, you watch as the fury in her eyes begins to dull. As I said, this was not something that was picked lightly. We did not do this on a whim. While time travels normally for you all, we have Andros who can freeze time itself to give us time to decide. We debated this what would be years for you mortals. There are those who believe in what you say. you are not alone in your opinions. Now, unfortunately, Carinus has perished before his punishment could be dealt with. However, one betrayer still lives, and she turns her eyes to Catagarus.
Oh, I knew it.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
It was nice knowing you, buddy.
You guys
How many
watch,
steps?
you guys watch as
many-
Catagarus kind of like begins to like stumble backwards. Like he for the first time in all the years you guys have seen him, especially Mahalis here, this is the first time he actually looks afraid.
As he starts to stumble backward, he stumbles into Amanita's firm hand on his back. She steps forward and says, I will speak in his defense. He is not as much of a traitor as you say.
You speak up.
I mean, wouldn't the gods know, of course, all the information, unless you're, of course, obscuring or fabricating it.
Everything is obscured and fabricated under Savos's cloak, which is exactly where Catagarus has been firmly planted.
Indeed, and that is why, servant of Savos, she looks to you, Amanita. I am tasking you with keeping an eye on him. Do not let him slip through your fingers. Shall you fail in your duties, an inheritor will be dispatched to deal with him.
He looks at her father and she whispers in his ears, Please grovel now.
He looks to you, then looks at her, and then looks back to you again, and then just drops to his hand, and his like onto like his stomach almost, just collapses, just starts, just
Kowtowing it.
yeah.
Amanita drops down and does the same. Thank you for your mercy, Adea.
Yes, Adea, thank you. Your knowledge and wisdom are.
Shut up, father.
He shuts up immediately when you say that. Very well. With that, I have been here on the mortal plane for too long. I am breaking Kimoth's laws longer than I should have. But one more thing before I go. And with that, you watch as she begins to somewhat shrink down to human size and approaches you. Wow, I just had a brain fart there, sorry. Approaches you, Amanita.
Oh.
And rather than being 10 feet tall, she's now about maybe 7 feet tall, maybe 8.
That's still tall to Amanita.
Oh, yeah, definitely. She kneels down, she pulls you up to your feet. She kneels down and places her hand on your stomach. And you feel a bit of warmth from radiating from her hand.
No.
Oh, fuck!
I bless you with child, servant of Savos. Raise your triplets well, and ensure that they do not inherit a land that is devoted to the void. And with that, she then looks to you, Hephaestion. Do and make sure that you help raise the children well. I'll be watching. And with that, she then begins to regrow to her original size and begins to ascend the glowing staircase.
Amanita looks at you
You really
and
need divine intervention for this.
she plants her hoofs in the ground and starts like scraping them backwards like an angry bull.
Oh no!
And she goes, triplets? Triplets?
Hephaestion is a twin.
She's going to charge at Hephaestion, horns first.
Just a yelp of fear, but I do not run.
Yeah.
You're getting rammed.
Yeah, Amanita, you would immediately know that satyrs have a hard time reproducing with non-fawn races, so her blessing is going to ensure that your pregnancy with Hephaestion will go through.
Oh, I'm so fucking dead.
You're so fucking dead.
As Adea reaches the door, she looks back to you all, gives a nod, and departs through the doors before they disappear shortly afterwards.
Well, best you get used to the charging, because now you're gonna have 4 of those at you.
Oh, they're only going to get stronger, and I'm only going to get more frail.
As this is happening, you guys look around and see some of the Dracokin that were allied with Caranus. They begin to scream out in pain as their bodies go from what used to be essentially Medicates from Fire Emblem. They were humanoids with pointy ears and some dragon scales on their face throughout. They go from that to shifting and distorting. Their bodies begin to develop scales throughout. Their heads take on the form of more proper dragons, and some of them even develop tails, becoming the Dragonkin, or Dragonborn, if you will.
Ah.
As she said, they will never be able to blend in with mankind. And in the distance, you can see some of the dragons that were assisting you do not seem to have any major reactions like the Dracokin did. Instead, they seem to just be more confused about what this curse could be. So it does not seem whatever curse was inflicted upon them seems to be immediate. It seems to be something that will be much more long term. Eventually, Stateria goes off and finds Esso, who is being treated by a healer, and brings her back to the group. And Stateria kneels down before you all. Thank you for sparing me from the curse. I don't know what this will mean for the rest of my kind, but it's scary knowing that I'll be exempt.
At least you're exempt from triplets.
Oh yes, congratulations. It's not often that one is blessed by the goddess of children herself.
Yeah, congratulations. I'm also just giving like that look to Hephaestion as like I have like my hand on his shoulder.
It's like the fucking meme of like the dude with the long ass face putting his hand on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Grabs Hephaestion by the front of his chest plate, pulls him closer. You're marrying me now.
Wasn't that the plan?
It is now.
Okay.
Now it's just set in stone.
Not the whimper.
Okay. Listen, you're scarier than most things on this planet.
There's really about to be a relationship of like, please tell anyone, but don't. You could tell anyone, but please don't tell your mom.
Oh, I was never expected to do anything important. Now I get to do national relations.
This is quite irritating.
It's not ideal. But hopefully these are the last of the innocents that have to suffer. One can only hope.
How are we to usher in equality if they're didn't suffer for the decisions of their leaders?
Take notes after, I suppose, my beliefs. Do your best to leave a mark on the world that will outlive you. Be changed beyond your years.
And what of the old fogey?
Admittedly, I wanted to kill him anyways. This is deserved, I feel. If not for what he did to all of us, well, most of us, then for his attitude.
With that, Katagarsta gets up. Well, as he comes over to you, Anno. I mean, not Anno, Hephaestion. Well, since my daughter has to keep a close eye on me, I suppose you two could follow me into exile. We'll be a big old family. Especially knowing that I have grandchildren on the way.
I don't.
There's
I
a
enjoy
pri-
carpets, not mud huts.
also Hephaestion has a prior engagement
Yes.
as
I'm to live
much
in
as
Marathon.
the the standing of dragons is going to take a hit. There was a
deal.
deal that he would join Esso and Marathon.
And I suppose I will do my best to live long and happy, to to remind people that dragons can do good to this world.
I see. Is he kind of like clenches his hand a little bit? I guess I'm on my own.
I promise you,
Wonderful.
they still have alcohol on the Great Plains, Dad. You'll be fine.
And I mean, we do have to do our grand tours once in a while.
I suppose this is my chance to, instead of bringing the satyrs to Alenia, I suppose I can bring Alenia to them.
Plus, you have to spread the new secret that I just learned.
Oh, what'd you learn? Do tell.
They let me know that the satyrs and the centaurs are the chosen people of Savos.
That's really what she told you?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, really? You seem smart.
You'll have to let everyone over there know. It's important information.
Yes, that does seem very helpful. And you watch as he gives you a wink.
Consider it a parting gift, Dad. Have fun.
I suppose I should get going then. I'm not really welcomed around here anyway, and I'd rather not get strung up and tied up to be roasted like a hog by the other people of your army. So this is the point where I sneak away without everyone knowing.
Well, before you go, she's gonna pull out a cask of wine from her belongings. I guess I can't drink this now, so consider it a chaser for the road.
He'll take it, and he smells it to check for poison.
I promise if I was trying to poison you, I'd be less obvious about it.
It's fair. That's fair. I did train you better than that. And with that, he takes a big drink. Well,
And then he drops dead.
Everything drops dead.
Family Guy death pose.
40 chess.
Okay, I'm back. Did I miss anything?
Katagars is just leaving. He's getting ready to sneak away to go into
Okay.
exile like he was supposed to.
Okay.
Well, cheers to the children. I hope you raised them better than I did with you.
If you promise and succeed at behaving, maybe I'll name the third one after you.
Absolutely not. I don't want naming young after their parents to become a generational thing.
We'll discuss it later.
Fine.
And with that, you watch as he plays on his pan flute, and you watch as he begins to fly up into the air and fly over the city walls to get away from everybody.
Probably just dev moded out of here.
Yeah, he did.
Pull the fucking Mary Poppins.
All right.
I was trying to find a GIF of like no clip, but I found this.
I mean, I just thought of Gmod.
Yeah, okay.
All right. I'm gonna do like a slight time skip, which would be like 2 days or 3 days later. And you guys have been assembled by Tracis and Atalanta to a meeting room showing a map of Alenia. The time has come to decide what shall happen to the region of Millennia. Do you want to form a new league and bind the city-states together? Restore the old way and place Marathon in charge again? Maybe follow in Caranus' footsteps and centralize the region into one nation? You have all the power. What do you want to do?
Okay, could you give us a is this the only map that we have, the one that we're looking at right now, or do you got another one?
This is it.
Okay.
I mean, everything
You
here.
guys can
This is
draw on
actually
it.
useful.
Just feel free to draw on the map.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
this map's actually more useful in the sense that like we have the Eladrin region. We can see what nations used to be here, right?
Mhm.
There used to be Demo, Ephria, Aegeon, Marathon, Ajax, a Nestor, and Inifaltes, and all that. And we had all those nations. We could just take things back to how they were and restore the independence.
And the
of all these countries.
Tessaphonians are willing to negotiate what the new border will be for the Fawn people in the plains. So
I actually like for that just the mountains here to the south. Like that'd be a natural border. Those are always the most secure and stable.
Yeah.
What I was thinking was a oh wait, I forgot. Like I think like Demo gets like these islands here or something like that. I think that was part of that. But I'm thinking one I'm not thinking independent city states. It's kind of been a bit where they're all been together. I'm thinking just one state. I'm thinking one state where like they have like a kind of like federal like almost like kind of something like a federal like autonomy to some degree.
What about a confederacy? Where they all maintain their sovereignty but work for a common good. Or are we getting too complex for this simple choice?
yeah,
we can-
this is all up to you guys. I'm leaving this in your talk among yourselves. What do you want to happen to the region?
Yeah, what
Roman Empire type
I'm
shit, I guess. Basically, a confederacy.
Wait. I'm a political science student. I can get really in the weeds about this. Do we want to keep this conversation between us simple? Or do we want to get real nerded out here?
I think we should keep. I think simple is better.
I don't want to
But,
sit here and go
we
over.
we can go more complex, like in like a text chat afterwards after things are over.
All right,
Like
so
the broad
yeah.
strokes version.
let me give a simplistic version. What Monica said, a simplistic version of what I said. So a federative republic, you're basically going to have you're going to have each of these countries now be basically like a state. I'll keep it American. They're going to each be like a state, and then you'll have like a president, like a national government over that. So think of the United States, but probably not the exact same. But think of that as for a federative republic. So they're all one country now. While a confederacy, they're all working together, but they're all still technically independent nations with their own rights and cultures and responsibilities. But they'll still have like a president, let's say. He's not the most powerful person. The most powerful person would still be the governor of here, the governor of Ajax. He's just there to ensure everyone works together.
Right.
So we could have the confederacy where everyone's still running their own societies, but there's a second level that makes sure everyone works together.
Or form an elective monarchy where all the states get to elect the king or the archon that will rule over everyone.
Well, this is simplistic because if we go confederacy, these countries could still choose how they're governed. One could be a monarchy, one could be a democracy. There would be let's say a grand archon over all of them, whose entire job would be to make sure that they all work together.
Make sure they don't kill each other, basically.
Yeah, like let's say Marathon.
Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah, so let's say Marathon and Aegeon had like a border dispute. That one of them could call on the Grand Archon to come in and be like, "Hey, mediate this shit."
Mhm.
That would keep them all sovereign in their own countries. But if we went with a federative republic, they would not be sovereign countries. That Grand Archon, as it were, he would be the guy in charge.
I think that the version where they retain their sovereignty, but there is a sense of unity between them, should be fine for now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
what I at least was saying was that like they're one nation, but like the current like kind of sea states, they would have their own autonomy within their own nation or within the nation.
I like either way. I'm personally for a confederacy, but both of those will. Neither of these plans would hurt the autonomy or the. Neither of these plans hurt each of those regions. So I'm down with. I'm happy with whichever way we go. Does anyone else have an idea of where something they'd like? Or is it just Confederacy Republics that are two ideas?
Ed or A, do you have any input?
I said my piece. I am perfectly in favor with those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in favor of the Confederacy one.
So that's 3 votes for Confederacy. What's everyone
Yeah.
else voting? We got 1
I'll-
for.
I'll back up the Confederacy option.
That's 4 for Confederacy.
So.
Anyone else want a republic?
Do I get to vote?
Yes.
I'm joking.
No, leave.
We'll give you an unofficial vote. What would you prefer, Mess? What's your unofficial vote?
Let's centralize the state. Let's make it a king. Everyone together. I'll hail the king. Let's make Karen's son the king, and then Flair's character can become the viceroy to that king and be the guy who's like, oh yes, he's the worm tongue that tells him what to do.
There you go. We got our 3 votes. We got 4 Confederacy, 1 Republic, and then 1 fake vote for the king.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will still try to guide Karenus' son. Also Karenus, because I'm using my revival scroll on him.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead. Actually, go ahead. Let's roll that Flair real quick since we're here. I'm gonna write down. What
Yeah,
happened to you.
we'll be reincarnating him. Let's all right, come on, 13, 14, let's go, 49, Quahono. What is that?
It's not even a real thing. We need a reroll.
I'm gonna think. I think that's a reroll. Yeah. There's like turtle people, if I recall. Yeah, that's a reroll.
18.
18.
Paralysis. Cat.
Paralysis is a race. Yep. That's fine. So
Karenus
he's
has
going
wares.
to,
if
he's
you
going to
don't
end
vote.
up reincarnating somewhere in the my not Egypt area.
Yeah, actually we do need to also roll like a sub race. So
Okay.
I sentenced you to
5,
cat
that's a
boy.
Lord's Mane. So he's a lion.
Oh shit, so he's like double cat.
That's fitting. A once king turning into a lion. That's pretty fitting.
Yeah, that works.
He was then forgotten
As
in
it-
history.
He's gonna like give him some time to wake up.
Well, he's a child. He's gonna. I'm having it be that he's getting a whole new life. This is just him being
Yeah.
reborn as
Yeah.
an adult.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me write that
Actually,
down.
with him being a lion, I almost want to say put him in the Great Plains.
They don't live in that region for the most
Okay.
part. That's more of like the fawn races, like centaurs, harpies, and satyrs,
Okay.
and minotaurs. All right, so he got 17 for Rawless, and then Lion's Mane. I'm just writing this down so I have it for the record
Yep.
books.
Him being a different race, though, is good.
Mhm.
Because that means he won't be meddling in the Eladian region anymore.
Mhm.
True.
So even though he's coming back, his coming back is not going to hurt the place we just saved.
Okay.
Make the most of this chance, young soul.
Okay. So now that that is complete, the war has come to an end. A new government has been established. What do you guys want to call this new confederacy? You have a name?
I can think of 2 off the top of my head.
Uh-huh.
It could be either called the Elenian Confederation or the Elenian League. back in ancient
Probably
Greece,
sounds very cool.
back in
I
ancient Greece, there
I
were
was actually go on with what you're saying. Going on.
in ancient Greece there were two times that pseudo confederacies formed, one led by Athens and one led by Sparta, and both of them referred to them as leagues. So
I like
it fit
leagues.
the theme.
Because I will say that this government you guys are forming, while yes, it will be eventually, as you all know in the history of the setting, they will be conquered by the Star Elves. That is just guaranteed to happen. This idea of this government you're forming will fester within the culture of Alenia, and it will be something that they will go back to once they eventually are free of the Star Elves.
But we're also kind of. Oh, go ahead, Monica. Sorry, I keep talking. at the same time, too.
What? Yeah, but what I was gonna say for actually a name, I was actually going to say the Confederation of Corinth.
Ooh.
What about the Corinthian League?
Ooh, yeah, that's also a good one. That's also a good one.
like
What I was saying, what I was thinking is that we bring it back around to name it after Corinth. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, the Corinthian League! I fucking love it. Putting Corinth in the name is genius.
That rules. Fuck
All right.
yes.
Let's do it. The Corinthian League.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Just to go into a little bit of the epilogue for this league is that it will last for another 20 or so years, and it will be something that, like, when it does fall, the people of Alenia will be like, yeah, this was our last government where we were free, and it will linger within the people's minds and their culture for the next 1,000 years until eventually they are free again. And so, when the time does come for them to be free again, the Corinthian League will be restored.
We've also managed to go through this period of like empires and cults and kingdoms, and we've still reaffirmed democracy in this region.
It's true. Because what was once a democracy before this war was just kind of marathon, kind of ruling over everyone. It wasn't really a proper democracy. But now with what you guys are doing, it will establish the idea of humanity, because Alenia is a very human-centered region. When the time comes for the humans to overthrow the Star Elves, they will probably base their government off of this confederacy you're forming, because I have established in my setting that once the Star Elves fall, there will be a new confederacy of the entire region of what the Star Elves used to rule over that the humans form. And now that you guys have made this confederacy, I was actually smiling when you guys were talking about a confederacy, because now in the history, the people that later formed the Confederacy of Raisos will look back and go, hey, this is what we can base our government on.
Government treatise on why Galros' big sword was so cool and how it affected our government.
All right, so we're not gonna get to epilogues just yet. We're gonna go into immediate endings. So now that the war is over and everyone kind of sticks around to see the government kind of get reformed and whatnot, which would take about maybe 5 or so years, maybe less, depending on how long it would generally take for everyone to get kind of refixed up. I would probably say 5 years or so. After 5 years, what is everyone immediately doing with the war concluding?
I gotta advise Karenus' son, and while I'm doing that, I'm also keeping an eye on like I check on the dragons in Marathon every now and then. With as my just trying to come up with policies that can best help with the reforms and with our new cursed class citizens.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's. But we're not gonna get too nitty into the Confederacy, but I will ask, where would you guys put the capital? This is just a quick question.
I'm thinking for now. I'm thinking for now either Marathon or one of the major cities in Aegeon, but I'm trying to remember. All the Void stuff was in like
Down.
Ephyria, right?
Yeah, it'd be down if I can get the ping to work. be my ping's not working. Be down.
Like
Right
over
here.
here.
I think
Yeah.
the ruined city.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Was that like
The
we
ruined
have
city is so
some
symbolic.
place in Marathon or Gion as like a temporary capital, and then we move it back as a kind of an idea of crawling out of like changing time.
I do have a suggestion.
Mhm.
So in the war, Foltes was raised.
It was destroyed. It was gone.
Yes. What if, as a symbol of this new confederation, everyone contributes into rebuilding of Foltes, not as its own country again, but as the new capital of the confederation?
Well, I was thinking something a bit more centralized.
Yeah, you're going for geography, I'm going for symbolism.
I think symbolism trumps here. We're already naming it after like the goat.
But go.
But Corinth was from Ephyria, so if you put the capital
Yeah,
in
that's
Ephyria,
yeah.
I have different
Yeah.
plans for Etheria.
Yeah, that's why.
That's scary.
That's why I was suggesting like we have it in Marathon or Gion at first, and then we use it to rebuild Ephyria.
Well, I like the idea of a temporary capital.
That's cool. I like that.
I just have a
Well,
different plan for
temporary
Etheria.
capital and then an actual capital, or maybe sister cities.
Okay, here I have an idea. If you don't mind me cutting in real quick, what if you take you Demo and Ephyria, kind of like a Washington D.C. thing, in the region between Ephyria and Demo, you establish a new capital here.
Okay, how about the area in between Aegeon, Demo, and Ephyria?
We might
Yeah.
need to touch on what my plans are to show where it's going to cause some conflict. Since Amanita's now pregnant, she can't exactly go on grand adventures. So she entirely intends to become the new first leader of Euphoria. She's gonna cast aside the title of like Lord or King. She's gonna return it to its voting roots and change the name to First Citizen. But she tends to take the reins.
It
of
used to be
Euphoria.
Archon back in the day.
She's changing the name of it to First Citizen
Okay.
because that's less imperial or less kingly sounding.
Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to throw that out. We can go back into the nitty gritty of the politics stuff later.
I think
I
I
think
think that
I think a vote on
that
this is good.
I think the Aegeon Demo Ephyria capital, his geographical makes sense and it fits with the Corinthian League idea.
So let's get this all written down. So I'm gonna call it the ADE.
Okay.
Rebuilt. I'm gonna spell this wrong even though it's right in front of me. I think it's really funny.
Is everyone in agreement to where the capital be with the split region?
Well, I was gonna put it because we get like actual numbers on votes.
Okay.
So ADE or rebuilt Foltes. Was Marathon also suggested? I thought I heard
That
someone
was just a
suggest
temporary
No,
idea for
Yeah,
Okay.
I was thinking temporary thing as we would
It was
rebuild that
ADE,
city by like
rebuild of Foltes or Ephyria.
So there's a third option. So or they're just a Furia, or rebuild Foltes. That's three options actually. And then if Foltes. Okay, everyone, one at a time. What do you want?
We'll start from the top, Monica.
Okay. I'll go with ADE because I like that more.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Flair, I think you're ADE as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ryan.
I'm for Foltes.
Okay. Ryan. Ed.
A faulty sounds more interesting to me.
Okay. And then
It's 2 for 2.
A.
I like the Maddox, so Faulties.
And Miss, give us your vote. Your little fake vote.
I like it starting. I like actually the capital going back where this all started. I'm gonna go with just Ephyria as my fake vote.
Okay.
So that was 2 votes for ADE,
I'm about to post it. I've been
and then
listening
3
now.
votes for rebuilt of Faulties.
Oh shit! There we go.
So, by consensus, we're gonna go with the Faulties. It looks like. So, Faulties, with its country gone, you guys are able to take the time to eventually build a new capital there, and that region becomes a clean slate for where a capital region could be established for this confederation. And they want to give it a name.
I've got nothing.
I
I'm
feel,
not good at
I
names.
feel
Uh,
we can't say New Etheria because like we abandoned Ephaltes. Etheria abandoned Ephaltes, it would feel really bad.
What was the name of that chick who
Agena?
asked us to save Ephaltes and we didn't do it?
Oh, Regina.
Do you want to call it Regina's Rest?
No. No,
Okay.
because,
Yeah, I was gonna-
because that'd be very weird naming the person that assassinated Corinth.
Oh, she did
Yeah.
assassinate Corinth. I forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I was.
it's
gonna
a
suggest
very
Regina.
awkward. It's a very awkward thing.
No, I forgot that detail.
No,
Yeah.
let's piss on her grave and name it something after or something close to Agena.
Yeah, if you wanted to continue with the symbolism, since you named the league after Corinth, you could call the capital Agena.
I'm very much for that.
Yeah, no.
How do you spell
Cor-
Agena?
Aegina.
just yeah.
Let me just see if I can. I guess we could call it like Nova Agena or something like that.
Yeah, but it's not like, there's another like Agena like somewhere. Like there's not like another
Agenopolis?
Agena.
That's
Yeah.
the city of Agena. That would actually
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
Man, I took a whole like Latin class. I didn't even think of that.
Everyone good with Agenopolis?
Yeah.
Would technically be 2 words though, missed.
Yeah. I thought it was always one with polis, but okay.
It is in modern English, not in the ancient way the Greeks would say it.
Okay. All right. So going back to immediate endings though. So we have Flair as an advisor to Philip, and then a frequent traveler to Marathon. We'll go to Ryan.
I would also say that Philip would be there for the reincarnation casting of his father.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good way. That'd be a good way to sort of like bring forgiveness into the family. So I bet they would appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so Ryan, since you brought up your plans for Etheria, I guess we'll go with you next. What happens in the immediate aftermath of the war? With you said she's gonna try to run for.
He's going to try to bring the people of Etheria back together, those that survived, the few of them. And she's going to try to revitalize the city of Etheria. Drawing on the fact that her father used to run the city. And that she was bestowed with the favor of Idea. She's going to take the reins to try to help rebuild the country. Because she was born in Etheria.
Yeah.
To help rebuild her country. She's not going to turn it into a kingdom or turn it into a, or keep it like, she's going to make it more of a true democracy. And the reason to try to live up to the example that the Confederacy setting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what she's going to do in the immediate aftermath, because she is too pregnant to be traveling around like an adventurer doing things.
Well, I guess that's my job then.
Oh, you trying to get milk now, huh?
I could go to the ends of the fucking earth and you would still drag me home.
You're not wrong.
No.
No. What are you talking about? That baker that accidentally mentioned my name the other day was just a random person. I'm not spying on you or anything.
Okay. All right. So fixing the city of Etheria, planning to become
First citizen.
First citizen. I like the idea that she actually loses her first election due to Katagaris being the previous ruler, but then wins the second one.
I would almost say that if we want to go on secret history, there's a good chance the survivors vote against her, but this democracy is probably not as clean and pure as I'm making it sound.
That's what I'm saying. Like at first, like it's a more proper democracy at first, like, and she doesn't win, but then as time goes on, she plays more into the secrecy stuff. She eventually gets the second election.
Because there are things she's going to do in the city in the long term that would make her losing an election kind of laughable.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the first immediate, like when they're like, all right, let's fix
I'm fine with that.
Fix our first one. She loses, but then she then gets like, all right, I need to really sink my teeth in and start now that after she's given birth and all that, she can then focus on really playing the game.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Ed, do you have, since you're somewhat tied to Amanita here, do you have anything for Hephaestion?
No, I'm kind of stuck going between management and basically being a glorified diplomatic errand boy, I assume.
Yeah, you're kind of an advisor to Marathon for Esso, and then you're also married to eventually the first citizen of Etheria, I guess.
And the fucking brother to the person who's eventually going to run Zendel.
Well, the House of Utica, at least.
Right, the House of Utica. My bad.
Okay, advisor to Marathon. Husband of the first citizen. Brother to the heir of Utica. Alright.
I can think of... Oh, no, that'd be a long-term thing. Never mind. We'll get to that.
Oh, yeah, this is just short-term. We're just doing short-term right now.
Never mind.
Alright, hey, what did Mahalis get up to after the war was over?
After the war, he'd probably be helping in the repair efforts in the current capital for now.
Okay.
And probably sometime after that, he'd probably go to Marathon and just settle down, maybe for a bit, maybe longer. But at least spending some time not traveling as much as he has been over the last, 20, 30 years.
Alright, so he finally finds a home that he can settle down in. With people that he knows.
Yeah, maybe he'll travel again one day, but for now he's happy settling for a bit.
Okay. And then, Ano. What does he get up to?
Okay. Definitely, like at least whenever it comes down to it, it seems to be that, everyone's kind of, going their separate ways. Like I'd have to say, Ano gives, a goodbye to, Hephaestion. Of course, Ano never talked about too much of his, what's it called? Life, back home on, gosh, what was the name again of the Sun Elf Nation again?
Majorca, if I remember the
Majorca, yeah.
right.
Yeah. He didn't talk about his life too much about on Majorca, but basically what he'd probably say is a final farewell to Hephaestion. He basically says
the theocracy of a Majorca.
Yeah. He basically says some yeah, he basically says something along the lines of if you need any advice on anything, just give me a call if you need help on anything. He just kind of gives him a hard kind of tap on the shoulder as he kind of heads back home. Really doesn't, he really doesn't contribute too much to, everything going on here. He pretty much, did what he mostly thought, he thought he could do, but he goes back home. And I was trying to think of like the proper uh I was trying to think of like an actual like saying to use, but it really hasn't come to mind yet. But I could definitely say in the short term he would of course come back home to of course his family, and I would definitely say he would try to at least for his kids try to make them not as hateful towards the Moon Elves, and I would definitely say like he would try to at least give them a like a quote or a idea to kind of remember that would then be, let's put it like this, like almost like a family quote,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't really think of like a good way to like
Yeah,
put
you
it.
don't have that right now. You can just message me that later. I'll add it to the setting.
Yeah, yeah, and that's pretty much the thing that I'm going with him. He's pretty much just going away to just kind of he's home. He's got the bow back, and that can be a thing that that his family could use if need be or not.
Okay. As for the other characters, Traces and Atlanta are, of course, hope oversee the building of the Corinthian League and also the establishment of Aeginapolis. But eventually, Traces' father passes away, and eventually Traces runs to become Archon of Ajax. And while he does fail to become Archon, he does become a prominent figure within the country and eventually settles down in a very comfortable political life, while Atalanta returns to her dying mother, Aegina, bringing her to the capital, and they decided to settle down in the capital there for Aegina's last couple of years. And Aegina will eventually be buried at Aeginapolis. And then Stateria will return to Marathon with Esso to take on her role of governing with Crete, and then Esso, and they help oversee the dragon partial of the government for those couple of years. Though she would designate several forces of the dragons to assist in establishing the new capital. And now we're going to move on to the long-term epilogue / legacies of these characters. And this includes the first gen as well, since you guys can now rewrite the history of those that came before you. So we're going to start with... actually, hold on. Flair and Monica. I forgot about Myron and Alexandros. What did they get up to once the war was over?
I know with Alexandros, he'd probably come back to of course Isagora for whatever they need rebuilt or any sort of thing like that. I could definitely see whenever it comes down to it as well, like him and his relationship with Nephates is definitely something like I could definitely see in like the very like end of it. It's kind of like that friendly, cordial kind of thing, like how like it was with what's it called? Or at least how kind of cordial it was with oh gosh, I'm trying to remember their names.
The Testimonians?
Not Testimonians. I'm trying to remember the historical thing. Oh yeah, Hannibal and freaking Scipio, with how like at the very end of like Hannibal's life, kind of him and Scipio were kind of like just like they were kind of like buddies joking about like how
Yeah, I almost
how
got
the
you
world
that
was
one time, fucker. Yeah, you did.
like something about like that is always kind of like it always just seems kind of jovial, but I kind of like feel like, especially with like those two, I feel like those two are definitely like they definitely became good friends over that sort of thing, and I would definitely say they probably would talk more about their lives going forward, and maybe whenever kinds of like talks, or at least Alexandros probably would be used as like a delegate or a diplomat for, of course, the Teutophonians. considering he does know the Dwarvish language. Plus, he also has a good history with them. And I definitely, the one detail I remember that I wanted to say was that, like, Alexandros didn't want, like, any sort of, like, because I definitely know, like, some people would probably have, like, some kind of, like, monument or memorial for him and that sort of thing like that, and that, like, he definitely would want it to be smaller, but I definitely know, what's it called? What I had planned was that, like, he said he wanted it to be, smaller or humble, but like he wouldn't care if, like, if people made it the way they wanted to. So I can definitely see in Isagora, after, like, we're meeting long down, like, the timeline or whatever, like a little bit past the timeline after he's gone or whatever. There would be a monument for him, but it's a whole lot smaller in would be Isagora, or at least that region. And then in Tesophonia, they actually have some bigger monuments of him as, like, no, of course not as big as something like Nafates or that sort of thing like that, but definitely something as something a bit more extravagant of what he has actually at home. If that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, Myron, what does he get up to after the war is over?
Well, he started this out as a mercenary. Before that, he fought in the Colosseum, and then he fought in a war. With the war over and a very peaceful era to come, he probably either returns to a Colosseum or just settles down and settles down for a bit of Marathon, where the, like, few people he has come to know reside. Not much of a use for an assassin outside of in such a glorious era.
Maybe he could establish, like, a small, like, showbiz in Marathon where he establishes a sort of, like, dueling, or, like, somewhat, like, not like a proper Coliseum, but more just like an amphitheater.
A fighters guild.
Yeah, something like that, where it's like people come here to, like, they come here to not try to kill each other, but just sort of, like, test their mettle to see who's the strongest.
Oh, I can see that. I can see that being a, like, longer term thing, but the immediate future for him is retiring to Marathon for now.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right.
Actually, I actually forgot about, like, one thing to think about, because I know, like, nothing was really what's it called? Because part of the other thing with Alexandros was that, like, he was kind of going on a bit of that, like, journey as well with Nafates and the Sword of Liberation, to see, like, because he never knew what happened to his wife and daughter after, because Tesphonians did have them hostage. That's part of the scenario of why Isagora fell in the first place, was because his family was hostage and he opened the gates for them. Did you have any sort of thing that, like, you had for that, or was it that just both of them are just never found?
I had it that after a couple of years, Nafates would go back to the Tessophonian Empire to look for his wife and for Alexandra's wife and child. And eventually, after about, well, this is going to get to the long-term epilogue when we get to that, but
Yeah.
in the long-term epilogue, he would eventually find them after about 10 years or so, and find that they were both still alive, but your daughter eventually was politically married off to a dwarven noble.
Okay.
Just because they didn't know what to do with her at the time, and they thought she was not like of the royal family, but just like a minor noble, and they assumed they thought she was some sort of, like, political hostage, but they didn't know who they had on their hands.
Yeah. They didn't know they had some farmer's daughter.
Yeah.
Okay. If that's the case, that kind of just adds more to Alexandros, at least in the kind of, like, the early to late
your wife
stages
is eventually
of him being
brings
pretty
your wife-
much a diplomat for of course the Tessophonians.
Yeah, and
for
then
the
eventually
Corinthian League.
Nafates would bring your wife back to you.
you know, if that's the case, then definitely for like the long term, I could definitely see Alexandros doing the diplomat thing while also having his or whatever, either whatever property he had left or whatever, being a humble farmer to the end, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right, we're gonna get into the long term and legacy now. So for Monica, for Alexandros, I have down a great warrior turned diplomat, and then eventually farmer.
And farmer again,
and
yeah.
and a well-regarded friend of all dwarves.
Hmm. Yeah, well-regarded friend, and also even if you were friend or foe, someone that, you could trust. Someone that was honorable to the end.
Yeah, one of the few humans that would be well regarded within Tesophonia. And I'm also saying that and also in the Great Plains as well. I like to think that whatever like capital like would eventually like be established in that area by some of the fawn, they would put up a small like bronze carving statue of Nephates, Alexandros, and then whatever I haven't thought about them yet, but there would be some centaur or satyr character who was assisting in the liberation.
Cat Garce is just seething the entire time.
So you and then they would each be facing a different direction.
Go with centaur. Go with centaur.
Yeah, it'd probably be a centaur.
I actually have a suggestion list for you right now. If you're
here, I'm finishing writing down Alexandra's thing here real quick.
I mean, like right here. I'm making notes of everything we're doing on the map. That's a penis. Never mind that. That was okay. Hand twitch. All right, let's try that again. I think like right here, like right next to this big lake in the middle of their country.
Yeah.
That's a good spot for a capital. Draw the screen dot at.
I don't know. I don't really care for like a confederation. I like the idea more of calling it a council.
Well, we can come up with a name for it. I just
of course.
slap something down there.
Yeah, I'll say that the Great Plains never really confederizes. It's more of like a conegate eventually.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. I'll get to that when I get to Catagaris.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's factions of horse lords,
basically. Yeah. So we're gonna start with Gen 1. So since we already did Alexandros, let's move on to Fala. So what would Fala's legacy be?
I could definitely say Fala's legacy would definitely be remembered as a I definitely see a character that'd be remembered more as like a swift and skilled skilled marksman that did have a silver tongue, but was of course what's it called? Of course was cut down in the whatever was like kind of like the last stand, and then also kind of her connection of trying to bridge something between like some of the cities that would then become part of or some of the cities in Demo that would then become part of the Corinthian League got like of course would it be of course demolished by Carinus. So what I'm thinking more is like someone that was very skilled and definitely someone who was a good talker, but was not skilled enough to of course would it be survive or have like whatever kind of small legacy they tried to build up not be demolished, if that makes sense. A soft but tragic story, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. Just to give the other people a break, we'll come back to you and Gen 2. So, Myron, what would Myron's long-term legacy be?
Give over me for now. I will be back in a bit.
Gotcha.
Let's see here. someone like let's see here. His time in the war is like largely fades away as his identity during battle was being so invisible that like his accomplishments are attributed to Paratos. But this invisible way, sort of, and like these virtues of the Oath of Silence, get passed around between the like strongest fighters in the new like Coliseum or theater hall that winds up being formed in time. And even these those who take the oath are said to be very like involved in various moments throughout history, but no evidence can really truly be said for that. So it starts this fighter stage turns into like a secret assassins guild of sorts.
Okay, cool.
But with a holy side to it.
All right, I'll come back to you again for Taryn later. Let's go with Arita A.
Going back a little bit to what Mihalis would be doing after the war, I feel like he would take up teaching those that are younger in the area and are able to perform magic, just essentially being somewhat of a mentor. And stories of his mother living on through those children, telling those stories to other people, and it's spreading a bit of a very, like, almost a little bit of a demon figure to anyone who opposed her, but kind to those she loved, and a very good magician, or person who could use magic. And then that spreads a little bit into, just like over time, becoming more of a...
I like to think that she lives on rather... Kitsadrians are not exactly like the book writers because they don't really settle down. I like the idea that she lives on through oral tradition only.
Yeah, it's almost like becoming a bit more of a folktale / urban legend of a woman. And then maybe eventually just used as a thing to make sure children are being behaved unless they want the woman to come and punish them. So a bit more of a lighthearted and sort of mythical kind of legacy.
I like the idea that eventually, like her Kitsadrian form, like it's just referred to as like a fox, like the golden fox. If you don't behave, the golden fox will come in and steal something from you or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds good. Names like the Golden Fox or like the Golden Mother or something along those lines.
Let's go with, I like Mother's I think is a better one.
Yeah, that'd be pretty much her legacy.
I want to know Lady Ariana's, because I think it's kind of shared with Categoris's to an extent.
Yeah, Ryan, what happens? What would you say Lady Ariane's legacy?
I think it's difficult to say because I figure it kind of got wiped out a little bit.
Well, they're not wiped out. Just their capital got depopulated to hell in some of their rural areas, but they are still There's still a lot of people in Euphoria.
is a hard one for me because like
I would say, like, if I had to
she-
get like a percentage like of the population that was wiped out, I'd say maybe like 10% of the population.
yeah, but like the place where she lived and she was most known was the capital,
Mm-hmm.
and she died fighting Caranus. So, but then again, it's the rebellion that I like to think that she's still well remembered by the she's still well remembered by the priesthood of the Ephirian region.
Does
As an
Amanita do
example-
anything for her?
Do you think Khadgar's talked about her?
That's up to you. Do you think he like told stories to her? I'm not saying like she like would erect like a statue for her, but maybe she just like wrote about her. Maybe.
I'm trying to think because you know what? I don't think he did, but I'll address more about Lady Ariane and Khadgar's relationship when we talk about Khadgar's.
Okay.
But I think she's still remembered fondly by the priesthood. I can't remember which god I had her worship. She was a light cleric.
I think it was Kemoth.
Yeah,
Because she
I think
was
she's
all
still
about,
remembered by
she was all about
Kemoth.
teaching people, and Kemoth is the god of like of scholars.
Yeah, I think she's still
One of
remembered
the
well by
gods,
Kemoth's
scholars.
priesthood as someone who stood up to Yaldabaoth long before the crisis hit its reaching point. Like she was almost one of the alarm bells that was ignored in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole reason one of the big reasons she chose to walk outside that city and face the threat head on instead of helping people escape
Yeah,
was
she'll be remembered
because
as like a devout defender against the void.
yeah, because she was gonna help people evacuate the city, but she chose to go fight because she realized the threat of Yaldabaoth was coming. And gave her life in that process. So I think she lives on as an example of fighting against entropy and the servants of it.
Yeah, every character that died in the Ephirian, I'm calling it the Ephirian coup. That'll be like they'll all be remembered as dying in that event.
Mhm.
Okay. Ed's still gone at the moment. However, I would say this could be for a group. Paratas,
Paradox.
the Dragon Slayer.
Yes, the Dragon Slayer.
I will say, with no doubts, that there are at least 3 statues in Etheria of Paratos.
I think that at least one of the dragons that like is suffering God's wrath right now believes it has something to do with Paratos' death.
Well, Paratos died
Mist,
like
you-
5-ish years ago, maybe 10, even before like.
You
the
know
war
what,
ended.
Mist? Mist, you got to give this to me. Okay, so
Yeah.
the dragons are cursed, right?
Mhm.
Any dragon that tries to like find a way to break the curse on them by the gods finds themselves hunted by a golden hound spirit.
I'm gonna say they don't see it, but it is said in rumor.
At least I think I was gonna go instead. This curse that's placed upon them is like to some is known as the bite of the hound.
Ooh. I just love the idea that Paratos is an inheritor now. He's
The
a little
bite of-
guardian. Little
the
guardian
bite-
of heaven.
The bite of the hound is spoken of in dragon myth now.
They say he's bitten 87 different dragons.
Yeah, I'll say that there's a statue of him in Etheria, in Zendel, and then also one in Aeginapolis.
Because remember, all of Myron's kills are attributed to Paratos. Which also Loki has Paratos like the head of the hound as the symbol of like this like order of silence.
Hounds, I'm not hounds. Trinkets and objects of protection that are supposed to protect against dragon or dragonkin should be forever in the shape of a hound.
Yeah.
In this
Shape of a
region.
hound, or maybe if someone had a beloved dog companion, they would take the parts of like their deceased and use them as like sort of a warding charm.
I'm just gonna say that
Whether true-
anti-dragon items will feature a hound head in some regard. So whether it's like I made this dragon slaying sword, maybe on like the paw on the hilt, there's like the hilt's in the shape of like a hound running. Or maybe it's like the hilt is like the head of a hound and like the blade is coming out of the hound's mouth.
Also, miss in this specific region when it comes to military dogs.
Mhm.
If a military dog is like a really strong specimen, they should say he looks just like a Paratos.
Goddamn, Baratos is coming out with like the greatest hero of all. What the fuck?
Yeah.
He's
He's
the dragon
I have
slaying
more
pupper.
written
He
for
was the most
Baratos than
important member of
anyone
the party.
else.
He's the dragon slaying pupper.
Yeah. All of Myron's achievements are attributed to Paratos.
I rolled up a natural 30 to include as much dragon slaying lore in those histories as possible about Paratos. You think you've written down more about Paratos than anyone else? Katagaris written down more about Paratos than anyone else.
Yeah, I'll say that he is forever remembered as a great defender of Elenia. Like I said, because he's got statues all over. He's basically fucking Bucephalus, like Alexander's horse. Like he's gonna have like a bunch of like small villages named after him. I imagine there's like probably several villages named Paratos now.
Oh my gosh, anyone living the Lenian specifically, I know you have so much miss, but I just love this idea. So up here in the north, right, Nestor? How there's like kobolds in this region?
Yeah.
Towns in this area should have like a culture of putting like dog statues outside of their homes so that Paratos can ward off like kobolds and dragons.
I'm just gonna say hounds are now well loved in Elenia.
Oh yeah.
I can go more in depth with that depending on the region from there. Okay.
Yes, I can't wait for the Star Elves to eat dogs.
I just want our first dog inheritor.
He's not an inheritor, sadly.
Come on.
At least one person believes he is.
His whole job as inheritor is to just sit in the throne room of heaven and just guard it. The goodest boy, the greatest guard dog.
We can say it's we'll say it's a tail.
And I'm the
Yes.
one spreading it.
There's many tail.
If we believe it long and hard enough, we'll turn Paratos into a minor god. I swear it, guys.
All right.
We
Since Ed's not back
we
yet.
are
Of course-
we are not.
Oh no, he's walking back.
Okay, cool. We'll have to tell Ed about how his dog became the greatest hero of this war.
Hi, what did I miss?
Your dog has become the greatest hero of this conflict, legacy-wise.
Let's fucking go!
I have written
Paratos is
I have written
simple.
more for Paratos than any other character thus far.
Because Myron's achievements are attributed to Paratos, as well as additionally,
Hilarious.
because the dragons because Paratos killed dragons and was eventually killed by a dragon, and soon after,
Paratos
relatively
escaped.
soon, especially for dragons.
Yeah, Paratos left.
Paratos just died
Okay,
of old age
yeah.
in Zendel.
Oh,
Yeah, he made it.
He lived out his life.
Yeah, he was a peepaw.
I
Oh my god, he
just
died
like-
in Zendel.
Yeah.
Do you realize that means this dog died in a country? If ever a Zendel elf ever comes to Lenia, they're gonna find that one of their random dogs that they barely think about is like God over here.
Yeah, like a
That's funny.
fucking, like a random fucking like footnote from House Ustia.
the dog.
Utica, sorry.
Like the curse that was placed on the dragons by the gods is being attributed to Paratos by some dragons.
Yeah, here's what I have written down, Ed. It is written as Paratos, the Dragon Slayer. It is said in rumor that those who try to break the dragon's curse is hunted by a golden hound. A statue of him stands in Etheria, Zendel, and Aeginapolis. All of Myron's skills and kills are credited to Paratos. Anti-dragon items will feature a hound head in some regard. Is remembered as a defender of Elenia. Several villages are named after Paratos. Hounds are now well loved in Elenia.
Fucking awesome.
The
So, since we talked about that, Ed, what is the long-lasting legacy of Thonus?
I want him to be remembered as someone who came from nothing and managed to make a name for themselves in a country that has strict class divisions. At the end of the day, he was in it for the fame, he was in it for the power, and he was in it for the money, and he didn't have it for long, but boy, did he fucking have it.
An inspiration to the working class.
Yes.
Oh, that's really good, considering what I want to... I actually, later in my study, I actually do want to focus on class divide. I really focus on, like, serfdom and how the peasants are fucking treated like dog shit.
Yeah. Oh, also the devil shit was never discovered formally. Like, I'm sure someone somewhere knows, but, like, that never became, like, widely known public knowledge.
Or agreed upon fact.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
right,
sure,
so
there's
really-
gonna be people like, that's a real fucking mysterious ring that he had. It's like, that's just fucking embellishment. Who gives a shit? It's like,
Khadgar's over here is like, oh yeah, that's devil worship.
The Tessaphonians wrote him as being like a devil in the battlefield. You know, it's just writing. It's just how, you know, people are flavoring it up.
it's not literal, you fucking moron. And that debate will go on literally forever, if that is acceptable to you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Thonus.
What about Hephaestion the First?
God damn it, I did not get my wish in the end, huh? Fuck my life.
What?
It's your wish.
I don't want parent worship to be a thing in this family, but I guess it is.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Hephaestion wasn't his parent. Hephaestion was a friend of Faunus. I'm talking about first gen Hephaestion, your ally, your companion.
Oh.
What was his legacy besides being just a good friend of Faunus? You know, this is your chance. You could have this is it. You could do the roommates thing.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
They were such good friends. They were always there for each other. When they died next to each other, their blood became one when they died. They were such good friends.
We're good friends?
Hephaestion and Faunus.
The original
Oh.
Hephaestion. Fuck, that's really funny, actually. Sure. I want people to debate this for the rest of time.
Oh, they were
Bronze
roommates.
Age Yowie? Question mark?
I mean, that is literally Hephaestion and Alexander the Great.
Exactly. Like, fuck it. Thonus had Bronze Age Yowie with Hephaestion. Like, when the internet is invented, God knows how many, like, centuries and millennia from now. I want there to be some history nerd drawing obscure Tumblr art of this shit.
It's going to be essentially like fucking Hetalia adaptation.
Oh, why do you have to say it like that?
Because
Yeah,
it's
it would
really
be.
funny.
I was gonna
It
say a
would be
Hades
that.
adaptation, but that works too.
Yeah, so there you go.
Faunus is proof of the polycule.
Medieval Yowie. Sorry, Bronze Age Yowie. Bronze Age Yowie! Woo!
All right. Now we move on to Gen 2. What would be the long-lasting legacy of... actually, hold on. Sorry. I got some NPCs I need to do from Gen 1. So, Corinth's legacy. Technically, this is a dead character, so I'll take input on this one. What do you guys want Corinth's legacy to be?
Oh, I think he's now the symbol of this entire region.
What I would say is that
Most mythological figure.
I wasn't gonna say mythological.
Like a
What I was
founder?
gonna say is that what I was gonna say is that a founder or a visionary who was of course sadly betrayed by of course more selfish and greedy people.
A visionary of a united Lenny under a democratic rule.
Yeah, and was of course what's it called? And of course was killed by more selfish people that then of course used that as an opportunity to, you know,
try to benefit themselves and kill, thousands for it.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that was like if he had, like imagine like all like the what if historians later down the line, they're like, man, imagine if Corinth had lived, imagine how much better the world we would live in. Like they're like, oh man, if Alexander the Great hadn't been died when he was young and he had gone on, Corinth could be like that, where everyone's like, oh man, if only he had lived
He would
longer.
have been even more legendary.
All those other like history what ifs, like don't pay attention to my void cult flag, guys.
That's just a relic from my grandpa. Don't worry about it. You got
Uh,
My magic Confederate flag.
so the dragon that's being swarmed by like what remains of Tyrene. Can I say something? Can I say that like if he ever
we're gonna get to, oh yeah, I forgot about Tyrene. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. If the dragon ever started to like change his ways and like redeem himself in some way, even with everything coming down on the dragons, the bugs would go from like eating away at him to like sort of like doing a bit of healing, like helping
Sustaining,
recover from.
like sustaining him instead of like beating at his existence.
Yeah, and that healing could be extended to other like dragons if he himself chose to change for the better. And Tyrian's remembered as that swarm.
Okay. So he's not going to run around like Jesus healing dragons, but he is going to soothe the curse in his presence eventually if he learns.
Yeah, if he learns, he will be able to like soothe the pain of dragonkind.
Yeah.
And even then, it's not attributed solely to him. It is attributed to the swarm.
Yeah, the bugs would be considered Tyrene like reborn or her spirit living on.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone have anything else they want to add to Corinth beyond just being like, oh hey, this was the big figure guy? Or I think that's good enough.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yep.
Agino,
Yeah, that's
same
fine.
thing.
Yeah.
All right, ditto to Corinth. Carinus.
Well, what did he do with his reincarnation?
Well, people don't know that's him. I don't think he
Yeah.
would broadcast it either.
Yeah, he
So
probably
we're
wouldn't.
focusing on we're talking about Carinus's original legacy. Like, how do people feel about Carinus in the future? Because you guys get you guys are the victors. You get to write the history.
Oh. Trusting in the Void Cult, he's remembered as how Achilles is legit like a really strong guy, but like whenever they talk about Achilles, it is his heel.
Yeah.
He is remembered as someone who made a deal with the Void Cult, made a deal with like those with that kind of magic, and it was really he was really big. He was very strong, but like people uniting took him down when the day came for the big battle against like a united force. He lasted less than a minute.
Yeah, I have it right here for Carinus, as if this would be written from the victors. Proof that dealing with the cult of the void leads to the downfall of a once heroic figure. Everyone cool with that?
Yeah, sure.
Nah. Some other historians write down history's greatest monster.
It's history's greatest monster.
People would be because Alenia's weak right now. They will not be able to withstand the might of any
dude
invaders.
straight up
like turned a blind eye to like people basically being butchered and fused to a lava rock chair.
Yeah, nah, you're right. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Some people say that he was just
He was misguided.
A hero that lost his way.
You're a
Others believe
void
him
cultist for saying that.
Yeah, other people consider him to be a monster who brought the end to the end of a golden age.
He brought no matter how good he was before, all people remember about him is that he sold out his people for power and lasted less than a minute.
The other thing, the other thing as well that's a thing to also consider for historians to write him as is the fact that, remember, he did use the dragons for his conquest, and I would assume after some time people would realize that something happened to the dragons, so like that could be attributed to him, or the fact is that the gods didn't like him either, so fuck him.
So like this guy's so he sold out his people, he sold out the dragons forever, and he lasted less than a minute.
Yep.
Also, if you
he didn't last less than a minute. He lasted over 20 years technically.
If you ejaculate prematurely, you're a Caradus.
All right, now for Catagaris.
Yeah.
So for Catagaris, Catagaris has a very interesting history. It's something I've been thinking about for a minute. For Catagaris, he goes on to live in the plains for quite some time, and over time, he will go on to sort of try to turn the fawn people to a different way, but eventually he ends up coming to embrace their ways instead, and goes on to become the first Conagate of the plains. As for what happens to him, his ultimate downfall comes when he decides that when the Elenian region gets invaded by the Star Elves, he decides to do what is known as the Last Charge, as he moves into evade Elenia and try to take the region from the Star Elves, but is ultimately cut down while trying to invade Etheria, excuse me.
Is it said who did it?
It's unknown who does it. It's how some people do say is that some people think that he died running away from battle like the coward that he was. Some say he died bravely charging into the battle. It's highly debated how he officially died, but what is known is that his dead body was eventually found and recorded amongst the dead. And so with Catagaris' legacy, I'm going to then move on to, and also he's also remembered as what was once seen as like a symbol of culture unifying between the fawn and people outside the plains. It is then later on becomes one of the plains' like more nationalistic heroes, and someone that fought to maintain their liberty from both Tessaphonians and other regions. And with that, I'm going to then move to Ryan for
Last question. What was the religious impact he had on the region?
I would say it's not that great. I would say Amanita had a better chance of having a more religious impact on the region. I would say that he probably just kind of like went like, when in Rome, half the time.
Fair enough.
So we're going to move on to you now.
So, first, Amanita helps rebuild Etheria. She loses her first election, but through, underhanded methods, she manages to eventually become the first citizen. She focuses most of her time in politics on rebuilding Etheria. The city, not the region.
Mm-hmm.
She fills the city with hidden passages and unknown structures in its sewers. And once the city is complete, in a more winding and complicated design than the original city had before it was destroyed, she would actually retire from politics entirely. She probably was only first citizen for like 2 terms before she just completely left politics to focus on what her real passion is, which is growing and reorganizing the cult of Savos. She would come to the remaining followers of Savos, speaking on how she had been blessed by Adeo with a divine secret to become the fourth divine, and how she was going to use this to craft the fourth divine lie, forever raising the cult to newer heights. She would spend her time when she wasn't, once her kids were a bit older, traveling the region, spreading seeds of the cult of Savos where she could. She would also try to export her faith to her kin in the Great Plains. But she would try to move herself out of the public life as much as possible to focus on truly becoming the prominent religious figure for the Savos cult in this region.
And then eventually, I imagine she just passes on eventually.
So which one of us dies first?
Yeah, who dies first?
Between you two? Well, I mean, satyrs live not as long as half-elves do, so...
We do live like 150 years, though, so it's a long time together.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we also have to get married, so there's also a marriage in there somewhere. You're all invited to the wedding.
You better show up or I will kill you with a rock.
Don't worry, I'm already in town.
Hell yeah, brother.
Also, unless you stop her, she's going to initiate all three of the children into the cult of Savos.
Can I haggle for one of them to be raised under... Fuck, I forgot the name of the god of
Celeste.
history. No, I worship the god of history.
Oh, that's right.
More so than Celeste. I would like one. I would like one to be raised under the worshipping the god of history, and I would like the third one to have the choice between the two. But it has to be
Siasir.
one of the two. Yeah, Siasir, thank you. So you get one, I get one. Last one gets to choose.
You know what?
To lord that over the other forever.
Hop into the Roll20. We're going to do something. So, Amanita has this game in her pocket, okay?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh no, oh no.
She has this, so one's going to worship your god, one's going to worship my god. But the third child's fate's decided now. It's called the
Okay.
Game of 20 Squares. If you win this game, that child gets to choose their own destiny. If you lose this game, they're worshiping Savos.
Okay.
This is how we'll solve parental disputes between us in this relationship, using the Game of
Yeah,
20
boy.
Squares.
Okay. All right.
It's like, your mom and dad are fighting, we have to go play chess real quick.
Me spamming my lucky die every time we play chess, so I win a disproportionate amount of the time. Not every time, but a disproportionate amount of the time, to your great annoyance.
Okay. I get you back in other ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you'll
Like lock.
crushes balls later.
Leg lock.
So yeah,
Satyr
Damn.
the last kid's faith was decided.
Damn, this guy's so bad with his horse, he can't pull out of the stable.
Fuck off! This dude couldn't pull out of a driveway. Anyway.
What do you want to
So
roll?
here's a fun thing for you.
It should be in the
Ryan.
rules of the game. It should tell you what you need to do.
I don't have the roll saved. I just have.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh no,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I was thinking like it was decided by a game of chess.
No.
or-
This is literally a game.
Oh,
The game of 20 squares. They literally do stuff. So you guys have agreed to the
yeah.
wager. So
Okay.
the 7 rounds proceeds a series of opposed skill checks. The skill checks are made in this order: performance.
Oh no. All right. Does the rest of the table mind if we do
Oh,
this?
I
real
rolled a
quick?
natural one.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I rolled a
Yeah,
natural
no.
one. Jesus.
Well,
Yeah, that's no matter what.
I lose no matter what. I rolled a natural one. You won
Yeah.
round one. Okay.
Unless you guys want to go
Okay.
with that one's not an automatically fail and say that he gets the 16.
No, this makes it
Yeah.
more. This makes it more exciting.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
All right. To win, you have to 7 opposed skill checks, which represent the various strategies that can be used to win the game. Each opposed skill check determines the outcome of a race between 2 game pieces. The winner of the game and the player who wins at least 4 rounds. So that's 1 round for Hephaestion.
So Ryan, note, I have 2 lucky die sitting in my pocket.
You note that Amanita pulled this game. She's been playing out of her pack. First time you've seen it, and you beat her the first time you tried it.
All right.
Oh
Insight.
no!
Insight
check.
Okay.
From both.
Okay.
Okay. So now it's victory for Amanita. So it's 1-1.
Do I want to use the lucky for the 13?
You
I
got
would say
3 more
wait
times to
until
beat
you
me.
fuck up real bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until I fuck up real bad.
All right. Next is history.
This is your fucking thing, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
This
like-
is his thing.
Yeah.
No, he's like sitting there like, wow, I'm really glad you introduced this game, babe. It's really good. And Amanita's like, I've been playing this game for 12 years.
All right. Up next is deception.
Fuck.
Oh. 9/11. 1925.
Oh, I hate it.
It's so.
You want that
tight
lucky
right
die?
I can't. It won't
Yeah, you
save
can't.
me.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
so tight right
That's
now.
That's
He's-
2-2.
She's like,
Fuck.
all fate. She's like an all fate too with this
Intimidation.
round. Oh,
Intimidation.
okay, you're probably gonna win this round.
No,
Oh.
no,
No.
no.
Fuck. Okay.
Damn, she does wear the pants in this relationship.
3-2.
She fucking does.
All right. If Ryan wins one more, he wins.
No.
Oh
All right.
no!
Perception.
I should have used the lucky. Perception. Oh no!
Oh.
No!
You
I
wanna use
should
that
have
lucky?
taken the fucking 11. No!
by the laws of the gods themselves now, that's 2 Savos kids.
How's it feel to lose your kids to a cult?
When
You just lost
probably
a
not the first time in this family.
You just lost a divine custody battle.
I'm gonna write down.
Yeah,
that,
I did.
1 converted a child in a game of in a game. I'm gonna add this to the legacy real quick.
But I will say, when I say I'm devoting them to Savos, I mean like they just have to worship Savos. They don't have to become like cultists who devote their entire lives to like serving the church. That's just who their god's gonna be.
Okay.
But one of them will worship. We'll say the middle child. The middle one's always out. The middle child has to worship your god.
All right. Good enough. Fuck that kid, I guess.
Okay.
You shouldn't do that, actually.
Chew.
Anything,
Watch your fucking
Ryan,
mouth.
is there anything else you want to add to Amanita's legacy?
I will spend the decades, if not centuries, I have after your death trying to convince those kids.
I think she's also gonna start from Euphoria, like puppet master shit. She's gonna start meddling with the affairs of Solen.
Zendel.
Called from Zendel. That's it.
Oh yeah, through my sister, absolutely.
Specifically to try to help House Utica, and also to try to cause chaos in Zendel that hopefully House Utica can fill the
Want to
pockets of.
staple something onto that? Specifically trying to spite and make an ass of the house of warfare.
Yeah.
Fuck those
On
guys in particular.
On that note, you saying that you were like really going
guys, it's gonna be like real funny when that volcano goes off.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be hilarious.
I actually think for you it'd be really funny if like every time you go visit Zendel, Amanita is giving you like a list of I need you to visit this person, don't ask why. Also talk to this person, don't ask why. Give this person this, don't ask why.
All
Yes, wife.
right. Speaking of that, Hephaestion,
Yes,
what's your
dear.
legacy? And Esso, as well.
A diplomatic errand boy to the bitter end. Not much battle left to him. Oh wait, no. 20 years from now, the Star Elf shit happens, right?
It's about 20 years.
A one-man army breaking swords with his bare skin.
Oh, so
to the bitter
So you're
end.
saying he's gonna go down fighting the Star Elves?
I want to go down being a terror to Star Elves. Okay, maybe not go down. You know what? I want to give you something you can play with. I want to give you something you can play with. All right.
All right.
A nightmare that terrorized several isolated camps, like breaking swords with bare skin. Nothing could pierce him, and ultimately just disappeared. A sort of ghost that people trying to fight against the elves would kind of try to imitate or carry on as like to scare the shit out of them, basically keep morale low. It's not going to work.
You know,
But think of it
like,
like Joshua Graham from fucking New Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
what if when Hephaestion like vanishes from like the annals, conveniently at the same time, Amanita and her and the kids back in Ephira also vanish?
Mm,
Hmm.
The whole family goes
How
into
could you-
hiding. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. So yeah, how's that to you, Mist?
Yeah, I like it.
Terrorized
I
a
could
bunch
leave-
of camps, disappeared.
Because that could leave a bunch of different interpretations. It could be that Hephaestion died fighting, and then Amanita took the kids and ran, or they all went into hiding together, or there could be all kinds of like what happened there.
Yeah, you got toys to play with, which is the
Yeah.
point.
And where does equipment go and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
The main thing, I just want history to exaggerate the fuck out of my AC because I think that's funny.
As for
The
Esso,
invincible soldier.
I say that Esso remains in Marathon for some time, even after the Star Elf invasion. But eventually, I like to think that she wanted to. She eventually wants to go off and, do other
Carry
things.
on my wish.
What was the wish?
Like, kind of carry on my wishes of carrying on history, watching over the family.
Yeah. Yeah, she would probably move to Zendel for a bit and then leave Zendel and then go somewhere else. It would probably be said that she would have a hoard instead of having like a treasure hoard of like gold. She has a treasure hoard of books.
And I would
So
like
she
this,
just it's
how,
like when she sleeps on a pile of books, and so when she wants to read, she'll just lift up a pile. She'll pull out a book from her pile whenever she needs it.
and I would like I'm going to nag my sister into making a tradition to always leave a roost for her somewhere on the
forgot.
Utica estate.
So Esso would eventually learn from Azdeha how to transform into a human. Because I'll say this in the history: no dragons ever transformed into humanoids. That was not a thing they did. They just stayed in the dragon forms. So like they built the cities for dragons, not to conform to the city. So Esso would eventually also take on a human form and would sometimes, just be able to move about society unknowingly.
Okay.
All right, let's go with Mahalis. What is your legacy, Mahalis? What's the long-term legacy of Mahalis? Like, what do people remember him for?
expanding off of him teaching those of the younger generations in Marathon his skills with magic, his knowledge from times past. He finds that he enjoys teaching and eventually goes on to travel. During this time, he does end up having a family of his own, and they travel with him. And then once his children grow up, they go on to do much the same as him. Sort of like looking towards him as a, what is it?
So you said he lives nomadically?
Yeah. Him and his family live nomadically, wandering and just teaching people magic and the ways to use it to empower you. Because he probably lives a little closer to, like, the longer end of the lifespan of Kitsadria, which is, like, around 200 years old, I think. But there's a lot of
most
spec.
characters in this game will live on to see the establishment of the Celestial Empire. Not the end of it, but
Yeah.
at least the beginning of it.
Yeah, and no one's quite sure where he went off to in his final days, but there's a lot of speculation of where he died or where he went off to.
Gotcha. All right, so another unknown that disappeared from history again. All right, let's go with Anno.
Oh boy. What I was thinking is that what goes on with him is that, of course, he does return back home. I always thought about what's it called? Like the one thing I thought about was that he did have
I will say this, Monica,
Uh,
because I remember we talked about this. So I'll give you guys
yes.
some details about the curse that the dragons are inflicted upon. What happens with this curse is that dragons' ages are now stunted. If you are an ancient dragon, it is said that eventually you will like go into this sort of like dementia state. You'll lose your mind and you'll become a wild feral dragon. And these are more traditional like dragons that you see in like other fantasy media that are just like they don't talk. They're just like they're kind of more like bestial. And so, Monica, if you wanted, you could have it that Gouda kind of goes on to become a slayer of these sort of cursed dragons.
That was actually what I actually had planned was that that was going to be a little bit after the because of course what happens is the Celestial Empire conquers both the Sun and Moon Elves and then conquers the rest of the Corinthian League, right?
Yeah, I'll say this now just for the legacy section. Ed, are you listening to this?
Yeah, I'm here.
Due to you guys' actions and you guys kind of distance Zendel from becoming closer to the to humans in Alenia, Zendel actually willingly joins the Star Elves when they arrive. They do not fight. They willingly surrender to them and join. And in exchange, they simply ask to be the ones to be the first to invade Majorca when the Star Elves do. So, Zendel boots were the first ones on the island when the Star Elves invaded
Oops.
the Sun Elves, thus increasing tensions between the Moon and Sun Elves for another 100-some years.
Yep. And what I was actually going to have as like a idea for that was I was thinking I was thinking because we are gonna like I do like the idea of Gouda like actually like trying to kill those like more dementia ridden dragons. I do like the idea that specifically in that kind of war or battle was that or some of those battles that happened there. I do like the idea of Gouda losing either a foot or a leg, but he still can cast a sword that goes 40 feet.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, so at least for like later years, Gouda is still around and is somehow a dragon hunter with a missing leg, or at least some kind of like prosthetic
So he-
equivalent, or
Not get
Or-
regenerate S on you out of spite to dragons.
or it's more or less like I don't think Gouda would honestly take it. And I also like the idea more of that, like him losing a leg is what actually gets him to actually try to ride a horse, as what people in Majorca did.
He's got that.
Okay, fair.
He's got that how to train your dragon foot.
Yeah.
So I do like the idea of Gouda with his great sword while he's one-legged on a horse. So
Which is fucking cool. He's basically got a breathing wheelchair.
I guess so, yeah.
He's using range to his advantage. That's smart as fuck.
Okay. All right. Up next we have Titus.
Well, Titus spends the time before the Star Elf invasion guiding Prince Philip.
Yeah, he's got 20.
into
He's
being-
got 20 years of peace to live through.
Yeah, guiding him and sort of pushing him towards a peaceful outcome, teaching him the tricks of negotiation. But there is a feeling of there was that one negotiation that got away. He couldn't stop the curse from happening to the dragons. And towards the end of the time, his senses start to dull a bit. The spirits his spirit's connection to the body that he is inhabiting starts to grow weaker and weaker. And overnight, his body's just he takes all the damage that he had over the campaign all at once again. But his spirit passes on into a lantern, which now either the lantern or the lyre. Upgrading the lyre of the lyre building to the lyre of creation. Which I imagine gets taken by the Star Elves during the invasion.
Okay, I got that written down. With the fate of the lyre, I will leave up to later on when I need it. Yeah. And then I'll add on to Hephaestion. His sister Ariane would go on to become a pretty well-known politician within Zendel, and would
How did she feel about the Star Elf invasion and Zendel joining it?
not happy about it. She would very much, and she would probably send whatever support she could to Elenia, off the record, but eventually it would have to cease after a while.
I actually have a question for you there, Miss. So,
What's that?
me and Ed, we both talked about how we kind of both messed with the Star Elves there at the end. What repercussions did Hephaestion's actions have for House Utica?
Oh yeah. Or did no one take the fucking military buzz-cut crayon-eating dipshit seriously?
I think people would notice that they were probably like, oh hey, this sounds like that guy from House Utica. House Utica would probably be investigated. Maybe some of the resources would have been taken away, making them a little bit weaker than they were. But ultimately,
But nothing ever sticks formally.
yeah, House Utica would still endure for the time being.
Okay.
I think that's
All right.
Is that everyone? Is that everyone legacy wise? I think so. Let me see.
Have fun, Miss. My family now has plot armor. I don't. None of my characters do, but the family does.
I would like to know what's happening with
Categories.
since you specifically called out ancient dragons. What's happening with our
Oh, Soteria.
Like
I forgot. Yeah, I
ancient.
forgot. I forgot about the NPCs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Teria?
So Azdeha would go to Marathon and then eventually leave as a human and go and travel the land. Some people say that they would spot an old man wandering the world with purple eyes and he would share knowledge and stories with them. And it was always said that he would always have bugs flying around him and buzzing in his ear, making conversations with them quite annoying at times. And eventually, after a while, he would Soteria, growing tired of Marathon and governance, would eventually also leave Marathon, after choosing a successor to take her place. She wouldn't just, drop everything and go. To go find her former family member and learn how to take on a human form herself, and would travel with him. And
Wait, him? You mean SO? Right?
No, Esteo.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, and Esso would also learn from them too, but Esso's always been more of a loner. She would not stick with them.
Right.
And so it would be said that a beautiful woman with platinum hair and a man with purple eyes would be seen traveling throughout the land together, offering guidance and helping others as they traveled along. A more cynical older man and a much more wide-eyed and adventurous younger squire, you could say. A Don Quixote and Sancho, if you will.
Shut the fuck up. I like that book, and I'm telling you to shut the fuck up.
It's Pete.
It is peak. I fucking love Don Quixote. Carry on.
What happened to those two would eventually be lost to history, though, as they would just be reported here and there, but it's uncertain. It's hard to determine just because a guy has purple eyes and a woman has silver hair. Could mean anything, because several moon elves also have silver hair, so she could have just been an elf for all people knew. But their stories do not end. They will continue to endure for quite some time, as there is still many years ahead of them.
Do you have plans for SO and her continued involvement in the family?
Yeah, I do. I definitely don't. Since due to Flair and your guys' actions, as Deha was a character that I'll get into the behind the scenes stuff late in a bit. When people are free to go if they want, they can stick around for this if they want. But as Deha was not a character I ever had planned for my setting, but now he is. Same with Esso. So, I have 3 dragons wandering the land now in humanoid form that I have potential with now.
Wait, doesn't this mean SO has the ability to reproduce if she so chooses?
Yes, she does.
Yes, the 3 wise dragons.
Hell yeah.
I think that's... Oh, yeah, and then, Atalanta, her legacy would be much smaller compared to her mother. She would see to her mother's burial and just put down the sword and spear now that her mom and her father have been avenged. Like, the country she lives in is literally named after her dad. Like, she doesn't really have... She's pretty content with that. And so she just retires to be a farmer in the capital region, living a simple life, and eventually disappears from the annals of history.
Austracious.
And Traces would die fighting the Star Elves eventually, as he would not stand to let them take over a land that he fought so hard and long to see freed as a confederation, and would be there. Would probably join Katagaris in his last charge to push back the Star Elves. And
see, here's the twist. He was the one who killed Katagaris.
And a fun twist of fate, those two would probably end up working together at the very end before they died.
Part of me wishes that Katagaris would go out like how Thonus was originally supposed to go out. Do you remember that when what I told you, Mist? How I wanted him to die?
I can't remember.
Coming out of a bar, someone tries to pick a fight with him. He pulls his insta-kill, you can never be revived dagger, trips and falls on it and dies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is how Thonus was supposed to go out.
Yeah, that dagger is somewhere in the world.
No, it was destroyed, remember? When I died.
Oh, right. It was
you're right, yeah.
It reformed with the god powers, but then it turned to dust again.
Right.
So that dagger is still gone. Are there more of those daggers
Yes,
out
there
there?
are more of those daggers.
I mean, yeah, of course.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Unless anyone has any questions for NPCs or nations that they want to ask about, but that's the end of this.
Behind the scenes time.
Oh wait, hold on. I actually have one. I have two epilogues. I forgot that I wrote out little. This is just like two little paragraphs. These are. Let me pull these out real quick.
One more thing.
Before you go, one more thing. All right. So, with these legacies in mind, we do a quick cutover, like as you guys are rebuilding Agenopolis, we do a cutover across the sea to an unknown land where you see a group of elves, both men and women, standing over a map of Erethdor and pointing the weaknesses out of Alenia. As an agent of theirs comes out from the shadow, revealing themselves to be where, oh my god, oh yeah, a resurrected Demartis.
Who?
Remember, you remember he was the sub commander under Cleomenes.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the guy that was like, I can't die now, not yet.
Yeah.
Someone resurrected him, and has been
Amazing.
hiding in the shadows throughout the rest of this campaign, giving information to the Star Elves.
Sneaky, sneaky.
And then we fast forward one last time, hundreds of years, thousands of years later.
What's the next campaign again?
What's up?
What's the next campaign?
The next campaign will be 1,000 years later with the fall, with the Great Rebellion, the destruction of the Celestial Empire.
Gotcha.
Will it be another Gestalt or?
No Gestalt. It's just gonna be standard. It'll be a level 14 to 20 game.
All right.
All right. We fast forward thousands of years later, about 2,000 years later. We see a man an older man, writing down records as he's studying scrolls and vases. As he puts his tools down, he then comes over to speak to some young students that are learning about the classics from him. As he is teaching during an era of rebirth, a renaissance, if you will, learning about these great heroes and the art and culture that they had. And then as he passes by statues made in the images of your guys' player characters, some with missing arms, some with broken noses, some actually standing the test of time, others not so much. He then sits down in front of a painting depicting Sigmund's coronation with his allies gathered around. And he simply says to himself as he puts down his writing utensil on a book, "Now for the next chapter. It started with the end of the Age of Heroes and the beginning of the Age of Stars."
Okay, Yang.
And that's where Bronze and Blood comes to an end.
Hell yeah.
Yang Wenli looking ass motherfucker.
I mean, yeah, history.
Yeah.
All right. If anyone wishes to go, you are free to go. Otherwise, I will be here to do a little behind-the-scenes Q&A section if anyone wants to ask me questions or reveal some behind-the-scenes stuff.
I am
Like,
super down.
I'm trying to remember. So by the time that we're having this campaign, like all the characters that were a part of this are dead now, right?
Yes. Any future games will be in my setting. Everyone that's in this game right here will be dead, except for the dragons.
Okay. Yeah, because the one thing I was gonna say is that originally what I had pitched to Mist was that Gauda was supposed to die to a dragon. That's something up in there as like a little thing that was like something that I had pitched to him. That was something that was on the cutting room floor.
I mean, yeah.
So
I mean, hey, maybe
No one
that's how he
knows.
died eventually in the history books.
maybe, yeah.
You can only go so far against dragons with a missing leg.
And a horse.
True.
Yeah, you'll get old
Yeah.
eventually. Sadly.
But yeah, if anyone needs to go, you're free to go. But I will stay here for just a bit longer to talk behind the scenes and answer questions.
I don't have questions. I just want you to ramble.
Yeah, start with what you've been waiting to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, actually, first I do want to actually ask some questions to you guys one more time. Let me find my thing here, because I do this at the end of all my games, at least my long-term games. So let me find this again.
Bro's pulling out the form.
All right, yeah. This is you guys. If you've played my games, you know my form. So,
Yes.
what did you guys like best, and what did you guys like least of this game? This isn't going anywhere. Just say what you guys feel.
For me, it's the same typical thing I have where when you want something to happen in the plot, you usually make it happen. That is a minor irk with how you DM to me, but that's a relatively minor complaint in the campaign I otherwise really enjoyed.
I enjoyed the setting. I'll miss it. I know we're 1,000 years in the future, so we won't see it again. But I enjoyed the setting.
I would say most enjoyed a lot of the world building and also having us be a part of some of that, like with coming up with some of the god names and concepts.
I mean, you
And-
know I love Legend of the Galactic Heroes. This is great.
Being able to throw the big curveballs like the deal with the dragons, I think that was like an awesome part of this campaign.
I do feel like-
I have purposely
Cutting you
not
off,
written.
Andy.
Besides some like very loose stuff I have of like my setting, I purposely left a lot of my setting very loose because I want you guys, or everyone on the server, to have a part in my setting until I officially start running the official campaign where everything is now then set in stone.
I do feel like, because when we had made gods, I made a conscious effort to very much play under the auspice of the god that I made. I've been doing a lot of playing as like people who worship Savos, right? I do feel like you've really respected what I made in these campaigns, these past 2 campaigns, and I don't regret playing under that custom bit of the world building that you let me put in. I've actually had a lot of fun with it. I've liked, even though it's caught you off guard, like when I got that divine intervention, and you had to think about it. I've been very happy with what you've done with it. If I never,
what did you like least?
even
Though,
if-
Ryan, you've just been complimenting me. What was your least favorite thing?
I didn't even know you asked us least. I was just thought we were on most.
What did you like the best? What did you like the least?
Least.
Took me off.
What did I like the least?
Who wants
Wow,
to-
no one. Fuck.
Who wants to
What?
jerk me off? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said.
I
It sounded like you got cut off.
I didn't even hear what you were going on.
Damn, I got fucked.
And my second character's been jerking you off this entire campaign, so be satisfied with that.
Sam.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. True.
The triumphant trumpet when you said that is fucking
I
killing
can't
me.
believe Hephaestus got the Gussie.
Yeah.
You got
Oh, why you gotta say it like that, man?
Yeah, he got to delve in those jungles.
Bro, I need the machete.
But yeah, Ryan, do you have anything that you
Why did I say it like that?
I'm trying to think.
You have no one to blame but yourself.
It's not something
Yep.
you hate, just whatever you like the least.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I've been having a lot of fun, so it's actually hard. I'll get back to you by the end of time of this conversation.
Monica, do you have what did you like? Do you have any like the best, like the least?
What I like the best. One thing I can tell that I do really like about it is like I definitely do feel like you do have you definitely do have like a lot like put into this. I can definitely like feel that with that. The one thing to me that I do think is is like something I do kind of wish you kind of leaned into a little bit more, and that's kind of what I'm definitely going to do with like my with like kind of what's it gonna be for like the next like bigger campaign character is that I do kind of wish like some of the like or at least some followers of some of the gods that like we made kind of at least like there was at least maybe some mentioning or like stuff like that would have made like a bit more because I thought like because I made I did make a god of like health and experimentation. I was expecting like maybe we would hear some chattering about like about like either my god or some followers or so on and so forth, and that really wasn't there, and that kind of like was one thing that I kind of wish was
That's
there.
a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I can agree.
Yeah,
with
yeah, that's one thing to me that I think should have been there, and it could have been it could have been something that was
that's something I'll definitely take into account for my next game.
Yeah, that's one thing to me that I definitely do think should have been
Yeah.
should have been there, and that's why probably for the what's it called for of course one of the for like the next character I'm gonna be playing, I'm definitely gonna have them be a person that worships the god that I made for your setting, Phenosia. So trying to think if there's anything else that like I liked or had like a problem with. Yeah, it's not really like it's not really like anything with how you had like things written or whatever. I kind of wish like for the part 2, I kind of wish you did change the map over here to being the one with the Temenid empire.
Yeah, I only selected this one just because it had the border set up.
Mm.
Because otherwise it would just been like, oh hey, this is the big empire there. So I wanted to keep like the internal like state borders around.
Yeah, no, like because at least with me, what I would have done is I would have been like because I like my maps. I would have actually like edited like some stuff like just over time because of how kind of long the in-betweens are for our sessions.
Yeah, something I'll definitely take into account.
Yeah, I think
I just wish I was
that's
good. I just wish I was better with map editing software, like your friend. God damn, I wish I could do shit like he does.
Oh yeah, him. Well, the thing with that guy is that like that's like a saying he's had like in the works for like years, and also the fact that he is like an artist, so like he does just draw his own stuff.
All right. Like I said, if anyone needs to go, you don't have to stick around for this part. You can leave whenever you guys need to. Does anyone feel like do you guys feel like your characters suited enough for the spotlight?
Yeah, no, definitely.
I think the moment with the dragons, I think, was like a really nice moment for my character. That was enough for like that's enough for like the whole campaign for me to say, yeah, this guy's cool.
What about your first two characters, like Myron and
Oh, Tyrene I wound up
Tyrene.
really liking, and Myron I think just played really solid.
I enjoyed the characters I play. I more just feel bad that throughout this game I've been very tired when coming to the table, so it has made me hard to like think good on roleplay and shit.
Look, I do not mind if some people want to just sit in the back and just, do when they need to. I'm not expecting you to have to roleplay when you need to. Do not worry.
Yeah, no, like sadly, the day that we play on typically is the day that I have to go into the office and hate going in. So, but I enjoyed myself playing.
Yeah, I feel like besides Strahd, this is probably one of your more active games. But like I said, like Strahd, and then Medi's Pathfinder game, and then this, I feel like has been like your most like top 3 active games. I feel like, and Star Wars you were pretty active in too.
I don't know. I'd say Mare Nostrum was really active, especially more towards the end.
Well, I mean, like since
the
Mare
pronunciation
Nostrum,
is carried on.
Yeah,
that rabbit still lives nostalgically in my mind.
That rabbit was fucking stupid. I love him.
Roku was great.
Probably top like 3 characters in that game was.
Well, yeah. Hey, don't feel bad about not being too tired. Like I do not mind if you just sit in the back and just role play when I call on you. You know, you don't have to take the scene all the time. I just wanted to know, did you feel like did I give you enough spotlight when I called upon you?
Yeah, no, whenever you were doing something like, oh hey, what does everyone in the group want to do, or like, oh hey, what are you thinking of doing in this moment, then I felt like I was like, yeah, he's doing this, or Irita's doing this with this character. I felt like I got enough of that, so I am happy.
Okay.
I feel like I accidentally injected crack into your veins, Mist, in this campaign. I think you had way too much fun playing Kedegars. Like, I'm not worried about the spotlight.
Fuck! Oh, I forgot a scene. Damn it!
Oh no, what'd you forget?
I
Is it
forgot a
important?
scene. I forgot seeing the ending. God damn it!
All right, rewind, everyone, rewind.
I forgot. I got so into my own head with the writing because I pre-read all that stuff with a day. A lot of that, at least not all of it. I completely forgot one scene I was gonna have while she was there. I forgot to turn the soundboard off.
Sorry.
Thankfully,
Surprised no one set it off.
Yeah,
the entire
surprisingly, no
session.
one used it the whole
I
time.
I was tempted during when like the golden fox came up. I was gonna hit the motherfucking.
Yes, the golden mother.
Do we want to even go back and do the scene I forgot?
What is it about? Just give us a
Is it
paraphrase.
important?
It's for the overarching setting, I suppose.
Oh, then yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
That's important. That's
All right.
meat.
All right.
We
Alright,
just
finish your-
fucking talked about how much we like
Let's-
the meat.
Let's finish your thought, and then we'll go back.
All right.
Yes.
I guess I'll finish these questions. Were there any rules or house rules that you guys thought should have been approached differently?
No, honestly, I thought your handling of rules was fine.
I do plan to
Yeah,
inject more 5.19 spells in the future. Like this was just the my next game. I just was not gonna force everyone to have to learn the 5.19 spells just yet.
I think the
haven't-
ancestral weapons were it felt underutilized.
Yeah,
It
I
may-
would like more ancestral weapons.
Well, that was probably because not everyone wanted to use them.
Like not everyone went to use them, and like because Myron wasn't the character I stuck with, like that sort of fell off. But I wanted there to still be like the idea of an ancestral weapon, so that's why I wanted to go with the layer of creation idea for Titus.
Well, the other issue I do feel about like some stuff with the ancestor weapons, I do feel like you know, some people or just like because I don't really know like the stat blocks of them. Like I don't know what kind of detail some people have with their stuff because with me, I know with that bow, I gave it a bunch of like, you know, sun like theming kinds of stuff with it. Like I didn't care for like stuff that was like advantage or this or I didn't care about stuff that was like straight like, you know, damage or these kinds of bonuses. I just went straight up with like, you know, what fits for something that would be like a sun themed bow.
Yeah.
Like
The
I don't
only
know if everyone else made stuff that was like, you know, appropriate themings for stuff or just kind of made a stat block.
I had to
only
walk
reason-
away for a second because my dog needed to go out. Last I heard was ancestral weapons should have been more used. I apologize.
What were you trying to say?
Oh, I was gonna say the only reason I didn't make an ancestral weapon was because I didn't really have the time to between character creation, but that was more of a time management issue I had
Yeah, I
at the time.
definitely want to reuse ancestral weapons when you're not playing two different Gestalt characters. I definitely will bring that.
Yeah,
I'll
'cause-
I'll definitely bring that back in a later game.
I struggled.
Yeah, it was-
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, it was just more like building 3 characters at once was kind of the, like, oh, hey, I have to kind of maintain this, and it was very cool playing the level 20 characters that one time, but it's like, okay, we planned up this much, so it feels kind of like, we didn't really use them that much.
Yeah, that's why I
Like
just used the fucking the block from Strahd.
Yeah,
I,
what I would say for ancestral weapons going forward, and this kind of goes off of what Monica said, which was Monica, if you want to repeat yourself.
Oh yeah, I
Probably should ban a couple powers.
Yeah, I specifically made
Yeah, the
mine
advantage on initiative
more.
power was like for being so cheap was crazy.
Yeah, you know, I think if I remember correctly, I took that one because I went like, oh yeah, you know, early bird gets the worm, or you know, early to sun or early to rise, you know, that sort of thing like that. So I think that made sense for like initiative and whatnot. And then like I don't remember, I think almost everyone took that.
Yeah.
Like if everyone had an like
To
an
be fair,
ancestral-
there's not a lot of great picks at low levels.
yeah.
Well, I also kind of found that I didn't like
but
that
you know,
because-
I specifically took specifically with me when I did mine, I did it more for theming, and I don't know if everyone else did that or people made something more akin to a stat block. I don't know. I made mine a bit more theming, and like because the reason why that Fala did a lot of damage was because she had a lot of actions. And she had unlimited ammo. Like that's why, you know, she did damage was because she just could hit you 8 times a turn, and each hit did like 15 plus damage.
Because y'all did basically near choose the same things with like the Evangel Initiative and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and it kind of made the ancestral weapons feel less unique because it was just a lot of you were getting the same benefits from them.
Yeah, so what I think should happen if you were to bring the ancestral weapons back is to take the same abilities from the ancestral weapons book, but instead of having it be a pick and choose anything, sort of build it like a skill tree in a video game where it's like, all right, you went from rank 1 to rank 2 with this weapon. Pick one of these 3. All right, you pick this one. All right, next rank. You can pick one of these 3 and so forth and
That's a
so
good
on.
idea. That's a good idea.
That feels more.
It's similar to
That
how
feels more.
Matt Mercer does his magic weapons, where they're usually like they're domain,
Yeah.
they're dormant, and then they get like awakened, and then they get like fully like maxed out.
I just think you should make these more. These weapons should be more of a relationship between you and the player, because like I said, otherwise everyone's going to choose the most optimal abilities. And they're
So-
going to all be the exact same.
Yeah, and when I
Yeah,
make
so
it, make it pick up when I pick when I make the trees, pick the trees based on the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick the trees based off of the character and like restrict what they're using. Also, like it doesn't need to be an ancestral weapon. When I had Titus give his like in his last moments, he passed his spirit into the lyre that he used throughout the campaign. I think like just magical items based off of the characters we have, and like the lyre building went from the
That system doesn't have to be weapons.
Like,
It has specific rules for like, oh, hey, if you want it to be like a magic item, it can do that too.
yeah, but like just saying, like if there are like if we do something that is significant enough that like this would cause a magic item to exist, or a magic item would be made in honor of this, like we like you mentioned, like dragon slaying items came up because of Paratos. Like if a new like dragon killing like weapon has like this additional thing where like it creates a dog token. Like that's something that would come to be because of like campaign and such.
All right.
That's my thought.
All right, well, let's move on from rules. Was there something you guys wanted to do but weren't able to? I know Monica's already. Did anyone have anything they wanted to do but didn't get to?
I wanted to interact more with the actual Cult of Savos undercategories. It was kind of acknowledged because when we were on that island, there was that guy wearing the mask. I would have liked to interact with them more, but it just never came up. They were just never there. We just had like that one acknowledgement that they existed and that Categoris was leading them, and then just like nothing else. I still managed to reach my endpoint by challenging him for leadership, but they never did show up again.
Yeah. A lot of the spells that would be able to justify things that I wanted to do with Titus, because I wanted to do more like contacting the fates and like seeing a bit of the future and acting accordingly. But a lot of the spells that let you see into the future are very high level stuff. And even seeing the present is difficult. So, like, I'm disappointed I didn't get to do more like future side stuff. Maybe like if someone plays a Fates character, hopefully they don't play a Birthright character. If someone plays a Fates character in the future, maybe giving them like a slight spoiler or like a Fates task in like the DMs or something could work. But something to make up for the fact that like you don't see the future much in D&D.
Gotcha. Ryan, I mean, sorry, Ed or A?
I got nothing. I already said my piece.
Yeah, it's more just down to, like, I wish I was able to, mostly for part 2, I wish I was able to roleplay Mihalis a bit more into that, someone who has had the fucking light go out of his eyes, but then slowly is, like, getting a little bit more comfortable with the group.
You like doing that with your characters.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm projecting.
Yeah.
I like sad saps who get to, like, be happy again.
Or skin restored.
Or skin restored. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Everything else, very good.
Hey, why are you playing a character who's getting sad? I always pick characters who get sad when I'm having a bad day. But you do that every character.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, I'm in therapy now. Everything's good.
Alright. Yeah, that's what I was referencing.
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess I'll go to the last question real quick. And then was there something I could have done to make the game more fun for any of you?
Turned me into a demigod and let me beat up Satan.
I've already said it like 7 times. I don't need to say it again. Right?
You should say it again.
Okay. I think you should be more spontaneous. Let shit be weird. Let shit be funky. Try not to cling as hard to your script. Because it really does feel like that sometimes.
I will say, with the complaints, to give a tangible example, for example, when we were talking to the elves, negotiating with them, the elves from, I think it was Zendel, or the other country.
Yeah, it was Zendel.
Yeah, it was like the sudden teleportation to get them all away so we couldn't do anything to them.
That was a bit of an eye-rolling moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the instant rejections of any thing we offered without like chance to roll or assist each other. It felt like it did feel very much like you either go A or you go, and then we said, well, what about C? And you said
no.
And no.
This is a true or false test.
But I guess in relation to that, more skill checks in general. Though maybe I'm also just used to Strahd, where you have the specific skill check, like
challenges,
pass 3, fail 3, or yeah, skill challenges.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's as much a sticking to your script as maybe because you ask us ahead of time what we're going to do. Perhaps you put a lot of effort into building like maps and characters and sessions, only to find us going in a direction where you don't have anything prepared. And maybe you're just like trying to do whatever you can as DM to like keep us from going in that unprepared direction. But I would actually rather, as opposed to being stiff as a DM and just trying to do everything in your power to just put a brick wall in our path, if maybe you just be honest and say like, hey, if you want to go in this direction, I don't have anything for you there. So if you guys want to go that direction, we'd have to delay the rest of our session.
And I'd be perfectly fine with that. Like,
yeah,
I think honesty in that case would be very helpful.
Yeah,
if that's what's going on.
That would be good. I would be very much okay with, I'm going to put a pin in this, as opposed to just swerving.
Gotcha.
If the meathead in me, why no more Gestalt? We strong, then we strong.
Gestalt is fun, but
like
really
Gestalt.
Fucking overwhelming.
Yeah, I don't like Gestalt. Yeah. I find, this is true, but for me personally, I think building characters is my least favorite part of tabletop. I just want to.
You know me.
Yeah,
I love building characters, and Gestalt overwhelms me.
And the thing is I'm also, I have very unmedicated ADHD. My attention span is very easily frayed. The part about us having multiple characters we had to build, with both of them having entire separate classes that we get everything from, and I'm trying to copy all this stuff and not miss anything, it actually made character building like torturous for me.
I'm sorry.
It was like straight up like, you don't need to apologize. Miss did this to us. No, but no, it was.
We were asked to make like 3, like potentially 4 characters for this
like
campaign.
the most required homework.
Yeah, and
I appreciate
If
the
it-
invitation.
Would it be fine if it
almost-
was just 1? But like, I don't want to push it any further. It'd be
yeah,
boring.
it's like it's just a lot of work, and I come to these tables to have fun, not have work. So this is where I sit at it.
I would say if you do want to run a Gestalt or like do multiple character things at once, I would say have like structured it in a way where you're building like 1 character at a time and not like 3 at once.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
Or more notice and work sessions, like open office hours kind of shit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the one thing to think about is that like we did have 2, and then we had then after that to then make 1. So there was like a little bit of a time difference between like the 1, but definitely like there was like the 2 that were a little bit what's it called what would it be? Oh yeah, there was definitely the fact that there was a time that we were just making 2 at that earlier stretch, and I didn't have a problem with it, but that's just because like I wanted to test out these 2 classes. I wanted to test out this because they were simple, like because the 2 things that I made like for of course the part 1 was I made a sword saint mixed with a fighter, and then I made a fighter mixed with a barbarian.
Yeah, I will say at the very least it made it like at least interesting to try out more classes in like a short amount of time, just like a little taste. It's like, oh hey, this is like a fun set of multi-classes or class to like maybe look at in another character as well later.
All right, you guys. I guess I could go back and do that scene that I forgot to do if you guys want.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure, what
Absolutely,
is it?
go for it.
All right, so going back in time, we go back to where Adea had presented herself and had dispatched the inheritors to help out with the city, and they had also gathered around you. And as you guys were somewhat watching the inheritors go to work, time itself would freeze. Both the inheritors and Adea would stop.
Could you repeat that?
Did I cut out?
No,
I
I just
heard
I-
the
I
inheritors
didn't
in it.
process what you said. I'm sorry.
Okay. As you guys, we cut back to where you guys were. Adea had just presented herself, and had called upon the inheritors to help somewhat fix the city and dispatch of the enemy still left in the city. As you were all watching the inheritors go to work, somewhat in awe, time began to freeze as you guys noticed that all the inheritors that were at work stopped moving and froze in place, including Adea. It seemed like nothing was moving. If you were to just look at even like smoke moving off in the distance, even the smoke stopped. And from
Interesting.
behind Adea steps out a figure with pale skin, long white hair, and dressed in a pure white toga with a piece of obsidian glass like pendant on his toga. And you just watch as he does a small clap, like a little clap from behind as he steps up from behind Adea. The man seems to be standing like around 5'7". He seems to be an older man with a white-gray beard. Well done, my friends, well done. I must say I am quite proud of your work. Besides you guys, he's the only one moving in this stop time.
Wait, is this Yaldabaoth? Oh no.
Oh,
No, Adea's not a progenitor, right?
No. She is the daughter of a progenitor.
Okay, this has to be Yaldabaoth then, because he's the only god stronger than this collection here.
Hmm.
I can only think of 3 beings in this world that could freeze a god.
Well, 2.
Oh.
My brother Gamarok is currently busy being the ground that we are stepping on, of course. But
Keep spreading your glass through his veins and he might just wake up.
oh, don't worry about that. That's not a big deal. I am simply here to thank you. You have done something that I was forbidden from doing, and so I have come here to thank you personally.
Why would you thank us?
Because this cult was running unchecked.
They were giving you exactly what you wanted.
No. No, he shakes his head. No. No, I made sure that they did not get what they wanted. They wanted the... And he pauses for a moment before he's about to say a name. Almost thought forgot. The Obsidian King was what they sought. I gave them Uruk instead. Because it's not time yet. It's too noisy. As he kind of like looks at Adea, frozen in place, and all the inheritors moving that were frozen. Too many eyes watching. Too many voices speaking. Too much noise. Too much focus. So, I decided to give my cultists something else. But I have come here to let you all know that I am in your debt. Should you need me, call upon me, and I shall help as best I can. Because had the cult not been stopped, who knows what they could have done, how much noise they would have made. But eventually, a time will come when the gods have stopped caring about their followers, when they stop listening, stop watching, and it's finally quiet enough. And when it's finally quiet enough, the time will become. The time will have arrived. But that'll be a long time from now, I'm sure. Nothing any of you need to worry about. I hope you continue to live your lives as best you can.
Allow me to warn you of something, Yaldabaoth. There may come a time when the gods' eyes turn from the mortal realm, and perhaps there will come a time when they grow complacent on our worship. But rest assured, my Lord Savos is always here, always looking for new fun. Go ahead and give him something to play with. I'm sure he'll be quite happy to foil whatever you're up to.
Perhaps. But you have to remember, before there were lies, there was me.
And one day we'll find out what there was before you.
You certainly won't. But maybe someone will. And with that, he just slowly starts walking behind a day again, and you watch as time resumes once more. And that was the thing. I don't know how much that you want that to affect you guys' epilogues, but
I
No,
did
really.
actually remember one thing as well that I forgot to say in my epilogue. Completely unrelated to this. Amanita also is going to send letters to various temples across Erythea. That's the name of the continent, right?
You mean Arathor?
Erythor, sure. And all the letters are going to have is inside the letters is just going to be a map of the continent with a spot circled, with no words on what's there or why it's circled or why these temples got this letter. No information whatsoever. These letters are just going to pop up all over the place one of these days, with no context or
I'll let my
information.
dog's in. I'm back.
For one thing, I want to say is Amanita is going to send letters to various temples throughout the continent that will just contain a map with a specific spot circled, with no context, information, or understanding as to why these maps with this location have shown up. It'll be up for any curious minds to look into it.
Okay. All right. Well, as I said before, the campaign is ended. I guess I forgot to do that scene. That's my bad.
Hey.
So, I think I'm gonna cut this recording here, and I think we'll call it there.